American history was made last night. Boston Patriots won the Super Bowl.
When the Second Amendment was written in order to maintain a well-regulated militia, they did not have in mind that people could purchase guns indiscriminately. The president is acting like Pontius Pilate.
Everyone knows I love coffee and I'm not giving it up. I know that it would keep me up from time to time, but no longer with Balance 7. Balance 7 is a clear mineral liquid that you take 3 times a day to break down the acid in your body. When it does this, you'll feel better, and I sleep better. Often I'm asked to try products and I can be very skeptical on their claims. But with Balance 7, it was all 100% true. With Balance 7, I didn't feel my energy starting to flag as the day wore on, because by sleeping better at night, it also gave me mental clarity during the day. Balance 7 is a highly alkalizing concentrate. That means it reduces the acids that have built up in your body. Balance 7 is also known for reducing acid reflux and heartburn, as it did for the mailroom manager. Balance 7 is made of safe, all-natural ingredients. If you suffer from heartburn, acid reflux, or sleep issues, you should give Balance 7 a try. Order the 8-ounce 12-pack supply at balance7.com. Put in code word Howie. You will save $10 and you'll also get free shipping. Balance7.com.
He is the youngest senator that is going to be running. In his video, he also mentioned he's the only senator that lives in the inner city, and he's an unmarried vegan. So a lot of very unique qualities Cory Booker brings to the table, Kate.
Now, I appreciate the comments of my colleagues. This is about the closest I'll probably ever have in my life to an I am Spartacus moment. I am Spartacus. I am Spartacus.
Joey, you like movies about gladiators?
Have you ever had an LGBTQ law clerk?
I've not been a judge, so I don't have any law clerks.
Someone working for you.
I'm to be honest, I don't know the sexual orientation of my staff.
Better strap yourself in. It's time for the Howie Carr Show.
How much time do we still have left to avert climate catastrophe?
Well, the scientists told us 3 years ago we had 12 years to avert the worst consequences of climate crisis. We are now 3 years gone, so we have 9 years left.
We're all gonna die! I can't believe this is happening!
See, this is the problem with where we are, is that you know he's not telling the truth. He knows he's not. Of course, he knows he's not telling the truth, but he knows you know.
Yeah. You got to consider the source. You have to consider the source.
Live from the Matthews Brothers Studios.
This you're not going to believe.
They want to pick on us because they want their babysitters back.
My hair's on fire about the whole thing.
We have the meeting open to the public right now.
I'm afraid so, yes. Rump swabs, hacks, and moonbats beware. It's Howie Carr.
Can we talk about dogs for a moment here? I'm sure you've seen the story about the greatest scandal probably of human history, not American history, human history, down through the millennia, the greatest atrocity that ever befell any mammal. Snowflake, the wonder dog. That's Ted Cruz's miniature toy white poodle was abandoned as he and his family fled, ravaged, wind turbine frozen, ravaged Texas to go to Cancun.
A beautiful dog, a talented dog.
As if that wasn't bad enough, investigative reporters were dispatched to his home in one of the nicer sections of Houston, Texas. And they knocked on the door, and a guard or a caretaker came to the door and answered the door. And this was a reporter from New York Magazine. Now, New York Magazine used to be a weekly. I think it comes out about once a month now, if it ever comes out. I mean, it's one of these who knew it was still around? But they sent somebody, even though they're on death's doorstep, literally, as financially, they sent a reporter to Houston to knock on Ted Cruz's door to find out who was in that house. And the caretaker came and said, and the reporter said, that little dog, is that their dog? They left that dog here in Houston? And I like I said, he may very well be indicted for hate crimes, war crimes, genocide for leaving that dog there. This is even a worse crime by a Republican than Mitt Romney when he was running Bain Capital in Massachusetts, putting the crate on top of his car and putting Seamus, the wonder dog, the Irish setter, in the car, and then driving it from Massachusetts, Belmont, Massachusetts, to his father's home, Governor George Romney's house in Michigan, on the roof of the car. Remember that? One day during the Republican convention in 2012, there were 2 columns on one page in the New York Times, the op-ed page, about how Mitt Romney had abused Seamus, the Irish setter. And so now all the same people who are going crazy about the abuse of Snowflake, Ted Cruz's dog, these are the same people who were apoplectic about what had happened to Seamus back probably 40 years ago, but story didn't break until 2012. And yet, here's where I'm getting to. A lot of you will know where I'm going with this. And yet there was another major political figure who not only left a dog at home with a caretaker during an energy emergency, didn't put him on a roof of a car. There was a future political candidate who actually ate a dog.
Poor dog died. The dog died.
And that would be Barack Hussein Obama. Remember that story? He put it in one of his autobiographies that nobody read. And so some guy who wrote a moderately critical or a less than hagiographical biography of Obama dredged up the story. It was on page 37 of one of his 700-word memoirs that was probably written by a former member of the Weathermen. And but apparently nobody had ever gotten to page 37 of the memoir. And even though it had been bought by 1 million, 2 million people. And so this guy writes in the book that Barack Obama used to eat dogs when he was a boy in Indonesia. And all of the same people who are so excited about Snowflake today and who were so excited about Seamus in 2012, they come out and they say, I guess his name was David Moranis. Moranis, you racist, accusing a black person of eating a dog. And of course, Moranis just had to go out and hold up the book on TV and turn to page 37 and say, he's talking about how his stepfather gave him some dog at the market or the bazaar in Jakarta or wherever the hell they lived in Indonesia. So there you have it. I mean, Ted Cruz is not the governor of Texas or any other state. He's not the mayor of Houston or any other city. He's a senator. I mean, it probably wasn't a good idea to leave Texas, when everybody is suffering, but he didn't have anything to do with it. What was he going to do? Go out and chop some wood, and they're going to throw it into a furnace for somebody? I mean, that's about all he could have done. He had no control over what was happening. But you know what? Again. But the Babylon Bee once again has it totally right about what's going on here. That that they're just Texas. Oh, and of course you have to be a liberal. And as somebody noted, as usual, the D after the name D makes all the difference. That's all it is. 844-500-4242. Officer Mark says, Ted Cruz putting dogs in cages like they are the children of illegal aliens. No one even said Snowflake was in a cage. Snowflake was just running around the house. This guy's bothering Snowflake, woke him up from his nap, knocking on the door. This guy from a defunct magazine is down in Texas running up his... And the dog comes to the door like any dog would do when he hears knocking. And that dog is here by himself. And the caretaker's there. He's not by himself. I'm sure the caretaker's feeding him. 844-500-4242. 207 says, anybody who could leave, I'm sure did. Yeah. I mean, wouldn't you? It was his kids. This wasn't a school vacation week in Texas, apparently, but there was no power. So the school was canceled. So his wife, I don't know if she works now, but she used to work at Goldman Sachs. She made a lot of money. She had a good job. So she does some checking out how much the room rates are, and it's you can go get into the Ritz-Carlton down there, which is obviously top of the line, for $309 a night. And she said, wow, that seems like a pretty good deal rather than freezing in Houston and having no power or having intermittent power. So she was texting some of the neighbors, you want to go down to Cancun with us? And, there's plenty of seats on the commercial airliner. It's not, it's not like he's Bill Gates or John Kerry and he's got a private jet that he takes with it. He's on commercial. That's why they got pictures of him. Oh, God. I mean, I know it looks bad, but another thing too, one last thing, he's not from a snowbelt state. Nobody from Boston would make this mistake just because they remember people getting into trouble. Remember Evelyn Murphy when she was lieutenant governor for Mike Dukakis, and she went down to Sanibel Island in Florida, and we sent photographers down, the Herald, and we got pictures of her, not in a bathing suit, not a good look for Evelyn Murphy in a bathing suit. And I think Kevin White got caught at one time in Florida during a blizzard. And Jane Byrne, the mayor of Chicago, the first female mayor, I think she lost her job after she wasn't around for a blizzard. But this is the first time this has ever happened in Texas. And why did it happen in Texas for the first time ever? Because as Mark Morano from Climate Depot was saying on the show yesterday, the Texas politicians, even the damn Republicans like Rick Perry, were trying to virtue signal by going to wind energy. And this was the price they paid. No good deed goes unpunished. Just ask Snowflake, the wonder dog. I've been on Balance 7 for 2 weeks now, and I can't believe my energy. Yesterday, I was feeling so good, I did 3 bike rides. Well, actually, it was last Sunday. Now you ask, what is Balance 7? Balance 7 is a clear mineral liquid you take 3 times a day to break down the acid in your body. You feel better, and I personally sleep better. It also reduces reflux and heartburn. It's good for arthritis, too. Often I'm asked to try products and can be very skeptical of claims, but with Balance 7, it was all true. 100% true. With Balance 7, I don't feel my energy starting to flag as the day wears on. By allowing me to sleep better at night, I have more mental clarity during the day. Balance 7 is a highly alkalizing concentrate. That means it reduces the acids that have built up in your body over time. All you have to do is drink a small shot of the liquid 3 times a day, and you will feel the difference. Balance 7 is made of safe, all-natural ingredients. If you suffer from heartburn, acid reflux, arthritis, or sleep issues, give Balance 7 a try. Balance 7 is made in America and is sold over 6 million units worldwide. Order any of the 1-month supply and put in code word Howie. You'll save $10 and get free shipping. That's balance7, the number 7.com. Balance7.com. Code word Howie. I'm Howie Carr.
Howie will be right back after a quick trip to the Redemption Center.
When you're in the house for longer periods of time, you can see them flying or running across the floor. Ooh, yuck. They're unhealthy, gross, and disgusting. Bugs. I loathe bugs. We keep a clean home, but occasionally bugs show up. Well, I found something that is tougher than bugs. Orange Guard. On contact, it kills hidden bugs, including ants, roaches, and fleas. Plus, Orange Guard is a residual repellent. All of the ingredients of Orange Guard are on the FDA generally recognized as safe list. Orange Guard may be used around food, humans, and pets. It comes with a 30-day money-back guarantee. Orange Guard, available at orangeguard.com, Whole Foods, and Ace Hardware.
Now's the perfect time to get a pair of premium wireless earbuds, and Raycon is the way to go. Raycon start at about half the price of other premium brands on the market, and they sound just as amazing. And Raycon's everyday E25 earbuds are their best model yet. You get 6 hours of playtime, seamless Bluetooth pairing, more bass, and a more compact design that gives you a comfortable, noise-isolating fit. Perfect for conference calls, video chats, or binging podcasts. Raycon was founded by Ray J, and celebrities like Cardi B and J.R. Smith have already given Raycons their seal of approval. I love my Raycons, and Grace loves hers, too.
Howie, I love my Raycons. Best birthday gift ever.
I listen to much better music than she does, though.
Hey, that's not true.
Now it's your turn to see what the hype is all about. Go to buyraycon.com/Howie. That's buyraycon.com/Howie. Buyraycon.com/Howie. And now, another minute of Madam Speaker, Nancy Pelosi.
But
you can put it up if you want.
You have these wings, AOC and her group on one side.
That's like 5 people. They would say, play games, and then they'd say, open sesame. Except we don't say sesame, we say open Biden. But no, because we are not. We have the number is growing. We have 91 women. There are 115 women in Congress, 116. 15 are Republican, 91 are Democrats. I happen to be a manifestation of the women power that is coming forth now, but only one manifestation. It was like getting kicked in the back by a mule constantly. It was physical. It was so unbelievable. The Times found Lincoln. Not to be presumptuous to put ourselves in those categories, but the Times have found us.
When you're slapped, you'll take it and like it.
Howie Carr is back.
Take a screen break today with Raycon wireless earbuds. Raycons offer water and sweat-resistant construction and seamless Bluetooth pairing. And with 6 hours of playtime, you can unplug for a while. Why don't you listen to the Howie Carr show on your Bluetooths, on your Raycons, I should say, with Bluetooth pairing. Get 15% off at buyraycon.com/Howie, buyraycon.com/Howie. Taylor, what's the poll question? What are the results thus far?
What's the worst abuse of a dog? Leaving Snowflake alone in Houston, leaving Seamus on the car roof during a road trip to Ontario, or eating a dog in Indonesia?
I just wanted to keep coming back to this topic. That's why I made this the poll question. Obviously, eating the dog. I would think that Seamus and Snowflake consider themselves lucky compared to the dog that was eaten.
What was that dog's name?
It was Ali.
71% saying eating Ali in Indonesia was the worst offense.
All right. 844. But again, the mainstream media, this is what they're about. Last night, World News, ABC World News Tonight. That's Steffi Stephanopoulos, Martha Bradley Raddatz is just a pablum puking mainstream media outfit owned by Disney. They devoted to the scandal in New York, a real scandal involving the nursing homes. Governor Cuomo is under a federal probe for his handling of the nursing home, maybe obstruction of justice. The legislature, controlled by Democrats in Albany, is moving to strip him of his emergency powers because he so abused him. That got 54 seconds on the ABC World News Tonight. Ted Cruz going to Cancun with his family and leaving Snowflake behind in Houston. 3 minutes and 28 seconds. So in other words, 3.5 times more on Ted Cruz taking a trip than on Andrew Cuomo killing over 10,000 old people and then lying about it to the federal government. They're the priorities of the mainstream media. And this whole thing about New York Magazine tracking him down. I mean, what other investigative stories has New York Magazine? And if you don't know what I'm talking about with New York Magazine and you don't know what it's like, then just pick up any magazine because they're all the same. You know, New York Magazine is Vogue, is Essence, is the New York Review of Books, is GQ, is 17, is Time, is the New Yorker. They're all the same. You open them up and you read, Donald Trump sucks. He's no good. Isn't it great that Donald Trump is gone? We're going to get rid of everybody now. It's all the same. Everything is the same. 844-500-4242. And they all have pictures of Kamala Harris's step niece or whoever she is, because she's such a great role model and a great model just in general. 844-500-4242. 844-500-4242. That's you can't make this up. A publication called New York is Chasing Ted Cruz, but doesn't give a bleep about Schumer, AOC, or Gillibrand that are in regards to the Cuomo scandal. That's a good point too. Why isn't this guy knocking on doors? You know, even MSNBC has asked De Blasio how he feels about the Cuomo scandal. And but these slick magazines that are supposedly written for the New York elite, they're down in Houston. But then again, maybe that makes sense because all of those members of the New York elite that used to read New York Magazine to find out, where they wanted to spend their weekends and what Shakespearean plays they were doing in Central Park. They don't live in New York City anymore. They've been gone for almost a year now. They're house hunting down here in sunny South Florida. All right, 844-500-4242. Let's play a Cuomo cut here, a Ron Kim cut. Cut 28. This is Assemblyman Ron Kim, who was threatened by Cuomo last week. He's from Queens and he's a Democrat. Cut 28.
And unfortunately, this playbook won't save the governor from the truth, which is that his administration's decision to force nursing homes to accept COVID patients, as you mentioned earlier, while handing out legal and criminal immunity.
To nursing homes. That's what they did. And he was there. I mean, he got the legislature to pass it. I'd be interested to know how that Kim voted on that. Judy, you're next with Howie Carr. Go ahead, Judy.
Complaining about Ted Cruz leaving his dog behind with a caretaker. Isn't that better than taking it down to Mexico and having it quarantined without them around it?
Yeah, I don't see what the problem is. I often left who hasn't left their dog behind if they could, right? Do you have a dog? Yeah, I know. My dog used to tell me, Mr. Carr, if you want to go to Florida for a while, I understand. That's what he said to me, And I'm sure Snowflake felt the same way about Ted Cruz. As long as he had a couple of cans of Alpo while he was gone, what the hell did Snowflake care? Probably enjoyed having the caretaker there. Jim, you're next with Howie Carr. Go ahead, Jim. Quickly.
How you doing, Captain? How's everything going?
Good.
Hey, the owner of the Milwaukee Bucks' son, he's a Democrat. He's running for Congress against the Republican senator there.
Johnson? Against Johnson,
yeah,
I think.
Against Johnson. Yeah. And the Democrats' grandparents are in a special place. They're in their 90s. So they were getting COVID tests the other day, and they both of them got shot
Get to it.
at the synagogue that they got it in. They just happened to have one extra shot. So they called up the grandson, who's 33 years old. He got the shot.
Yeah, people have gotten into trouble. The guy in Houston, a doctor in Houston, got in a jam for doing exactly the same thing. I'm Howie Carr.
Congratulations, New England. You did it. You made it through 2 months of torturous, nonstop, ear-jarring, teeth-clenching, blood pressure-raising radio noise. Those nerve-grating Matthews carols are now just a distant memory, echoing through the canyons of your mind with no sugary aftertaste. But it's a whole new year, and we've come up with whole new ways to annoy you. For example, remember those Matthews carols you thought were just a distant memory echoing through the canyons of your mind? Well, guess what? They're now and forevermore sitting fat, dumb, and happy on the video portion of our wicked awesome website, MatthewsBrothers.com. But they're not the only videos we have out there. We also have videos on such useful topics as understanding condensation, how to properly install one of our windows, and even a video on how to get the sash back into the frame once you've accidentally removed it and there's a storm coming and the factory is closed and your wife is yelling at you to fix it now. We even got one of those. You can learn more about our wicked awesome windows and doors, but only at Better Lumber Yards and Window Professionals.
Hey, Taylor.
At MatthewsBrothers.com.
Looks like there were a lot. Looks like there were a lot of good Biden cuts today, huh?
Yeah, and we might have some more. He's speaking in Michigan right now.
Oh, good, excellent. We'll do those at 4.
Can't stop talking about it.
We're talking about cities all over the world, major cities going underwater.
You know, I've spent a lot of time now with these young students, and they're scared, and a lot of young people are even suffering from. They're calling it extinction illness.
So that we can have people here who truly are committed to climate change, believe in climate change as though it's a religion, it's not a science.
A woman whose dreams of motherhood now taste bittersweet because of what I know about our children's future.
You have stolen my dreams and my childhood with your empty words.
That curing cancer is going to be much more difficult when there's so much climate change and pollutants in the environment, because a lot of cancer is environmentally caused.
Recognizing and acknowledging the link between animal agriculture and climate change is a very bold move, making tonight plant-based.
Hair loss is not one of life's more enjoyable experiences. If you're looking to fill in your hairline or reverse years of hair loss, DiStefano Hair Restoration will create a result that will be a transformative experience. The result of my IGT procedure was quite remarkable. I now have fuller, thicker hair, so I can even wear it a bit longer. There are a few major decisions I've made in my life that I wish I did sooner. My hair restoration is number one. It was by far one of the best moves I've ever made. My hair looks awesome, and the confidence from having a full head of hair again has left me feeling great. I used to look in the mirror and dreaded seeing my ever-increasing bald spot. Now, when I look in the mirror, I see the new me with a full head of thick hair. For information on how to make the same choice I did, go to hairman.com/Howie. What are you waiting for? More hair to fall out? Get the hair you've always wanted. Hairman.com/Howie.
Brace yourself, guys. Here is 1 minute of Nancy Pelosi.
I myself have always been for lowering the voting age to 16. I think it's really important to capture kids when they're in high school, which was a very amicable conversation. Amiable, I guess you would say, not amicable.
That they wanted their voices to be heard.
I don't think our colleague is anti-Semitic. I think she has a different experience in the use of words. That's not the total package, but there are some of the major points of discussion, I would hope, from sea to shining sea, because they are not getting paid 163 Republicans voted no. Wisdom from the kitchen of the Willard Hotel, yes, ma'am. The president either doesn't know what he's talking about or doesn't want to know what he's talking about.
I'm the Vice President of the United States.
Love him or hate him, Joe Biden's here for the long haul, but we can't get enough of his gaffes. Here's the best of Uncle Joe's speaking before he thinks.
We choose truth over facts. When the stock market crashed, Franklin Roosevelt got on television. Make sure you have the record player on at night. Poor kids are just as bright and just as talented as white kids. Okay, look, all right. Look, well, you can frack with me later, okay? The teachers are reckoned. I'm married to a teacher. My deceased wife is a teacher. And Corn Pop was a bad dude. I can tell you, and I've known 8 presidents. 3 of them intimate. If you agree with me, go to Joe 30330 and help me. Had over 40 kids shot at Kent State on a beautiful lawn. I love this place. Look, what's not to like about Vermont in terms of the beauty of it? I said something that was not meant the way I said. I mean, what is it that I said wrong? I want to be clear. I'm not going nuts. Anyway, my time's up. I'm sorry.
Live from the Matthews Brothers Studios.
603 says, so they had a snowflake checking on Snowflake. How ironic. Yes.
Ha, 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 ha.
844-500-4242. Meanwhile, the day that Ted Cruz went to Cancun with his family and left Snowflake behind, Biden or the White House staff put a lid on the White House news at 8 a.m. because they got a late dusting in D.C. And I know they can't handle any kind of snow in Washington, but still, I mean, a lid at 8 o'clock in the morning. What if Trump had ever done that?
Did Trump ever call any lids?
No, I don't believe he ever did. You know, even when he was in the hospital last year, Grace, for COVID-19. I mean, he came out and he waved to the crowd.
Yeah, and then he did the.
He went on Fox.
Yeah, he did. He
was working in the hospital.
He did a video in the hospital. Yeah, in the wing of the hospital.
Yeah. Yeah. So today Biden delivered a virtual address to the G7 group of nations. It was a modified apology tour, like Obama did in 2009. He said there's been a lot of stress and tension in the transatlantic alliance, meaning Trump told them, you have to pay your NATO dues. You tell people to pay money they owe you. I mean, it sometimes causes stress and tension, right?
It gets awkward. And we're sorry for the awkwardness.
Yes.
You know what I say to Joe Biden, Howie?
What?
Don't tell me you're sorry, Joe. I know how sorry you are.
You're stealing my old country lines.
I'm stealing your one-liners. All right, you ready for Grace's news, Howie?
Yes.
We might as well stick with Joe Biden. Did you hear?
One last thing. Jay from Chelsea just reminded me of this. Guests of the Howie Carr show in the news. Did you see this, Grace?
What?
Johnny Damon was arrested early this morning in Orlando. Florida man Johnny Damon for driving 2.5 times over the legal limit.
Yeah, the mugshot was quite something.
He was sober the day he was on my show a few years back.
I didn't even know he was on your show.
Yeah, he stopped in. He was on the also ran sports station, Radio Shillville, and then he stopped over on his way out the door.
Did you try to get him to go into politics?
No.
Really? My favorite story about Howie when he worked with all the jock sniffers, as he likes to call them, is how they would bring around athletes all the time, like these big time athletes, and Howie was never starstruck. And then the one time they brought in Cousin Brucey, Howie was like, "Is that Cousin Brucey?" And all the guys are like, "You're a weird dude." I mean, the things that get you pumped up. All right. But speaking of Joe Biden, he's finally acknowledging the reality that his $15 minimum wage proposal is not going to happen, at least not through reconciliation.
Now, if he'll only close the borders and stop the destruction of women's sports and reopen the Keystone XL pipeline, maybe we'll be off to a second better start of his administration.
Well, this is the funniest part about it, is that when he said the $15 minimum wage, which is like Bernie Sanders and all the Bernie bros, that is their main thing. He said by 2025. So how duped do these people feel that he's not even attempting to accomplish it within his first term?
And another thing, Grace, now that you mention it this week, remember, we've talked about this, but at the town hall the other night, he said he's not going to do the $50,000 student loan debt forgiveness either. They're very angry about that.
The community theater marketing director asked him, what are you going to do about student loans? And she said, we need to raise it past $10,000. And he said, I'm not going to do that.
Mm-hmm. He's also opposed to free weed, too. He's going to reduce the prices, but he's opposed to actually giving it away. 917 says that while he was at while Biden was addressing the G7 meeting today, every time somebody said G7, you know what he would yell out? What? Bingo!
Yeah, so Biden reportedly acknowledged his $15 minimum wage hike is likely to go nowhere. This is the quote that Politico got from a source in the room. I really want this in there, but it just doesn't look like we can do it because of reconciliation. I'm not going to give up, but right now we have to prepare for this not making it.
I'm very sorry, but there are a couple of sane Democrats out there, and they're going to stop me from killing another 2 million jobs. Can you believe it? We've got to do something about it. We've got to. Come on, man. This is no malarkey.
Speaking of Democrats, Howie, did you hear about Chuck Schumer's flip-flop?
What's the latest? He loves Iran?
Schumer changes his tune on Puerto Rico statehood.
Really?
Yeah, they're not happy about this. Senator Majority Leader Chuck Schumer changed his tune on Puerto Rico in a statement this week after endorsing the idea just 4 months ago. I don't agree with them. I'm not going to support their statehood bill, Schumer referring to Democrat Rep. Richie Torres' efforts.
But don't you think, a lot of people have mentioned this, that, Puerto Rico has a very sweet deal. With getting a lot of, they're eligible for all kinds of aids and not to mention that have to pay much higher taxes if they were actually a state. That they're probably better basically being a ward of the other states rather than being the 51st state.
Well, they took a vote and 52% of Puerto Ricans voted yes on a 2020 Puerto Rico statehood referendum, while 48% voted no. So it was close. It wasn't like it was an overwhelming amount voted yes. And Schumer said he reportedly said it didn't reflect a strong consensus. And the chairman of the Democratic Party of Puerto Rico blasted Schumer over the flip-flop. He said, you can't ask the people of Puerto Rico to vote and then ignore what they democratically decide with their ballots.
Well, we do that all the time in Massachusetts, right?
Yeah, the TCI. Just make you vote.
Look at the death penalty, graduated income tax, marijuana legalization with a 12.5% tax. I mean, why is it different in the U.S. Congress than it is in the Commonwealth of Massachusetts?
Exactly. Guys, Grace's News is brought to you by Toyota of Portsmouth, the house of value. I have an update on this because I was thinking about it. And a lot of these showrooms that you go to, a lot of them are outside, Howie. And you got to go out and stand in the freezing cold. Toyota has 2 massive showrooms at Toyota of Portsmouth. And they're all inside. They're sparkling clean. The staff is so friendly. They will not pressure you. Whatever you want, whatever kind of car you're looking for, they can help you get it. And that's the best part, is that it's mostly inside right now. And I know how you wouldn't understand this, but it's kind of cold here right now, and it's snowing. They're located just south of the Portsmouth traffic circle off 95. Go to toyotaportsmouth.com or visit them at the showroom and tell them I sent you.
You know who I just called? Speaking of being down here in sunny South Florida.
Who's that?
I just called Franny Joyce, Zip Connolly's new landlord, the guy who used to run the MCCA. He was the tin whistle player in the band for Billy Bulger. I called him and left him a message saying, can you get back to me? I want to do a column on how, you guys are settling into your new digs in Pompano Beach. It's going to be a nice weekend down here. I'm sure Zip and Franny Joyce are going to have a good time thinking about the good old days with Whitey and Billy.
I think I'm one of the only people in Massachusetts who gets a call from Howie Carr and doesn't immediately groan. It doesn't just roll my eyes into the back of my head and go, oh God.
Yeah, I said that I thought I was very pleasant to Franny leaving the voice message, but I haven't heard back from him.
Oh, you're pleasant. You're just a pain, but you're pleasant. For these guys, I mean, you're just a complete pain for them.
By pleasant, he just means he leaves a voicemail and he's smiling the whole time.
I am chuckling, giggling to himself. Howie, but that's part of your charm, is that you've never lost your local flair. You love these stories. And a side note, Howie, before I go here, Chicago mayor, the face of Chicago?
Lori
Lightfoot.
Lori Lightfoot.
I gotta say.
Lori Lightweight.
I know they say politics makes strange bedfellows, but I keep reading headlines where I agree with Lori Lightfoot, and I have to check my temperature and make sure I'm feeling okay. She's being chastised for spending $281 million of the federal COVID relief on police.
How dare you?
People are very mad. She's facing backlash.
Has Jussie Smollett been reached for comment?
After she spent $281 million in federal COVID relief on funding the Chicago Police Department, personnel costs. Details on the spending were released Wednesday, while the mayor sought city council approval to send nearly $65 million in unused federal coronavirus relief money into the 2021 budget. Local officials and activists voiced consternation that police received an influx of monies.
Good.
Yeah. And lastly, Howie, before I leave, I will be back for police water facts, by the way, but an alarming rise in alcohol abuse during the COVID pandemic. Not that this is going to surprise anyone, but I think it doesn't hurt to drill down on this a little bit more.
Look at Johnny Damon.
That's right.
Good point, Taylor.
That's right. You know what? When he was on the show, Taylor, I should have told him. You know, another one of my old country song favorites that Grace probably steals from me every once in a while. Drinking doubles. Don't make a party. Johnny.
I steal all these. Half my show is just saying, you know what Howie always says. By the way, guys, I'm going to the Fallensby Inn this weekend for my listener getaway. And I talked to Dennis this morning and 2 people had to cancel. He didn't have any openings yesterday, but 2 people had to cancel because of the weather. So now they have 2 rooms open. One has a queen bed and one has a king bed. So if you want to come this weekend, we're going to have so much fun snowshoeing, drinking cocktails by the fire. We got a big New Orleans dinner planned.
If Ted Cruz comes, can he bring Snowflake?
He can bring Snowflake. You poor Snowflake, that picture, the dog just looking out the door. It's so ridiculous. And someone put it really well. They said, when these people want to drill down on something, they will go to the ends of the earth. Like those reporters, they're real old school reporters, Howie, when it comes to finding out about the poodle, the Bichon Frise. That's how the tweet described it. They're all Woodwards in the making when it comes to Ted Cruz's dogs.
Yes, exactly. All right, Grace, I'll see you in a while with Police Blotter Facts Friday.
Thank you, sir.
Great news. The Gen 40 heater is back. Here it is. I'm holding it up right now, bringing it onto camera and social media, and just in time for really cold temperatures. Oil prices are going to go up. They are going up. I just got a text. The guy says the gas prices now, since Biden took over, are up 60 cents per gallon. The Keystone XL pipeline has been stopped. 35 million gallons of oil a day are going to China instead of to the U.S. Now there's a new moratorium on fracking on federal land. That means there's no natural gas to back up the frozen wind turbines in Texas and elsewhere. It's been 10 degrees in parts of New England for what it seems like weeks now. You need to start planning for higher energy prices. That means you need the Gen 40 heater. Robert from the Cape says the Gen 40 performs like no other heater I've ever used. It is remarkable. Taylor knows this. He stole mine.
I stole yours, and come to find out, the Eden Pure heaters have been in use in the Cormier family for several generations now, and the Gen 40 capitalizes on all the successes of their other heaters, and it's the best. It's so easy to use, it's sleek, it's stylish, it's light and portable, and it works. That's the most important thing. It works, and no matter where you put it in your house, you're going to be warm and comfortable.
And if Ted Cruz had one in Houston, Snowflake would have been much more comfortable these last couple of days. The Eden Pure Gen 40 makes you feel warmer than your furnace, and it also costs less to run. You may be working from home now, and you will need to pay close attention to the heating bills. The Eden Pure Gen 40 will pay for itself in a matter of weeks. Go to EdenPure.com and put in code word HowieDeal to get $50 off the sale price. That's EdenPure.com and use code word HowieDeal for an extra $50 off. These heaters are in high demand, so go right now to EdenPure.com. I'm Howie Carr.
They call him the trash man, but we'll call him Captain Howie Carr.
Joe Biden's plagiarizing prowess proves one thing: he's been stealing all his life.
Why is it that Joe Biden is the first in his family ever to go to a university?
Why am I the first in 1,000 generations to be able to get to university?
Why is it that my wife, who's sitting out there in the audience, is the first in her family to ever go to college?
Why is Glenys the first woman in her family in 1,000 generations to be able to get to university?
No, it's not because they weren't as smart.
Does anybody really think that they didn't get what we had because they didn't have the talent?
It's not because they didn't work as hard.
Or the strength, or the endurance, or the commitment. Of course not.
It's because they didn't have a platform upon which to stand.
It was because
There was no platform upon which they could stand.
I should have said, to paraphrase Neil Kinnock, it's the only time I didn't, and all the times I've ever used it.
Come on, man. You've been hearing me talk about Super Beets for a while now, and I'm sure some of you are still thinking, why Super Beets? You could take it from me. The benefits of Super Beets are incredible. I take them twice a day, once in the morning when I get up, even before I have my first cup of coffee, and the other time in the afternoon, right before the show. It gives me a burst of energy. It's great for my blood pressure. It's good for circulation. It just makes you feel better. If that doesn't convince you, we can talk about the science behind Super Beets. Beets have nitrates. Nitrates support better blood flow, and better blood flow equals better energy and efficiency throughout the body, and even supports healthy blood pressure. But Super Beets does so much more than eating regular beets and is unparalleled compared to other beet powders. Just one scoop of Super Beets has the nitric oxide equivalent of 3 whole beets. Go to superbeetsradio.com/Howie and try out Super Beets yourself. www.superbeetsradio.com/Howie. www.superbeetsradio.com/Howie.
I tested positive. Let's use this example of me having it as proof that you can get it too. God forbid, the rest of us should be staying at home for our mothers and the people that we love, and to keep us farther apart will ultimately bring us closer together in this cause. We have to do everything we can to avoid being sick. No matter where the virus goes, the way to stop it will always be the same. Our collective conscientious actions. Staying home. Staying home saves lives. I don't want some jack loser, fat tire biker get in my face and in my space and talk to me. I don't want to hear it. All right, here is the official re-entry from the basement.
You're a phony. Hey, this guy's a great big phony.
Cleared by CDC. A little sweaty. Just worked out.
Oh, my.
Say what you will about him.
He's a common ignorant slob. He don't even speak good English. He doesn't even speak good English.
He's Howie Carr, and he's here to stay.
Just over 4 weeks ago, America had no real plan to vaccinate most of the country. My predecessor, as my mother would say, God love them, failed to order enough vaccines.
I thought we had 50 million. Then he said we had 0. I mean, he was totally lost today. I mean, I know it takes him a long time to recover from that town hall, those arduous softball questions from the hard-hitting scribe Anderson Cooper, but he took the whole day off yesterday.
And in what circumstance did his mother say your predecessor failed to order enough vaccines?
God love plural. God love plural. That's a bunch of malarkey is what that is. 339 says, I don't know what this is apropos of, but the funniest phone call you ever had was when you called the bar where the former lady state trooper worked. Oh, when I ordered, I said, Leah Gendoza, I said, I know she's having a tough time making ends meet. Can you have her deliver a couple ounces of marijuana to me? You know, because that's what she used to do before she joined the state police. She was a drug dealer and a gangster's mall. But anyway, speaking of I'm glad that guy sent that text in because it's a good segue. On HowieCarrShow.com, we have posted the complete state police internal affairs reports on Andrew Patterson and Stephen Thompson's Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas and then Fear and Loathing in Foxborough. It's pretty good reading, wouldn't you say, Taylor?
I had no time to read those today. I just posted them, but I'm sure it is very good reading.
If you're a cop or you're interested in seeing state police corruption, they both run about 15 pages, but they're very good. And we should say parental discretion is advised. But I think most of the people reading will be older. But it's kind of rough in parts because they really get into the detail of what these guys were up to, and it was pretty bad. But it's right there, HowieCarrShow.com. And it's right there at the top, official Mass State Police Internal Affairs reports on recent drunken scandals. And you'll see a tub full of Corona Extra. And that'll be your guide to the reports, and you can check them out. It's good reading. 844-500-4242. John, you're next with Howie Carr. Go ahead, John.
Hey, Howie. Happy Friday.
Happy Friday to you too.
When I was at college in New York City, the radio station did an interview with some missionaries that had just come back from Southeast Asia. And the question was, what was the strangest food that you ate? There was a pause, and the husband of the couple said, well, I suppose it was cat.
Oh.
And the host then said, well, that seems pretty strange. So you'd never had anything like that before. What did it taste like? And there was a longer pause. And
am I going to have to bleep this out? Is this a clean joke, John?
No, it's a clean joke. There was a longer pause, and then the missionary said, well, it tasted sort of like dog.
Yeah. I remember when they had the Olympics in South Korea a few years back, and there was a great outcry. They said, that it's really going to be bad publicity unless we can shut down the dog meat stands for a few months. That's a true story. They tried to shut everything down. It's what they do when, a big event moves into your city. When they had the Democrat convention in Atlanta in 1988, they took all the bums and they put them on buses to Birmingham just to get them out of sight, out of mind. Mike, you're next with Howie Carr. Go ahead, Mike.
Hi, Howie. I just want to make a comment, and I just want to on Joe Biden, which is basically, you were mentioning about the vaccines and he, and whatnot, but he doesn't know what was given out. He just repeats whatever they tell him. That's all he knows.
I know. I've just, I've never seen anything like this. He has no clue what's going on, and I don't know, and I don't think very many people know who's actually calling the shots for him, and I don't think it's Kamala Harris. I think she's just following orders too. But the question is, who's writing the script out? I mean, the guy who's the chief of staff is a guy named Ron Klain, Klain. He's a longtime Democrat hack operative, but I think he's just getting orders as well. I don't know who's calling the shots here, but I mean, the fact that they're backing off of Puerto Rican statehood and the $50,000 student loan debt, these are perhaps minor signs, but it's a little bit of good news here and there, considering the insanity that they're proposing. And we're going to get to Biden's sound cuts when we come back. Speaking of insanity. 844-500-4242. I'm Howie Carr. Between the news, appointment TV, and endless scrolling on our phones, we're looking at screens more than ever. But how do you rest your eyes without feeling totally unplugged? Like putting in a pair of Raycon wireless earbuds and listening to something great. Whether you're listening to your favorite podcast, binging an audiobook, or working out to a pumped-up playlist, Raycons are built to perform anywhere and anytime with water and sweat-resistant construction and seamless Bluetooth pairing. There are no dangling wires or white stems to worry about. Raycons offer a comfortable in-ear fit for a more discreet look in a variety of colorways for maximum style. And with 6 hours of playtime, you can unplug for a while. The best part? Raycon wireless earbuds start at half the price of the other premium audio brands. So you can pick up a pair and a spare. Right now, get 15% off Raycons at buyraycon.com/Howie. That's buy, B-U-Y, Raycon.com/Howie for 15% off Raycon wireless earbuds. buyraycon.com/Howie.
Are we starting to feel bad for Joe Biden? Sorta. Are we going to play his gaffes anyway? Of course.
My name's Joe Biden. I'm a Democratic candidate for the United States Senate. Now we need to stand behind Jamie Harrison, the next president, next senator. I'm looking forward to appointing the first African-American woman to the United States Senate. Just like here in California, here in Nevada. Back in the spring, late fall, late spring, late winter, early fall. Anyway, you know what I mean. Look, tomorrow's Superstar Tuesday. I tell you what, I'm rushing ahead, aren't I? We hold these truths to be self-evident. All men and women created by you know the thing. It says you cannot have 20, 30, 40, 50 clips in a weapon.
We'll see who's sleepy.
Mr. Vice President, thank you.
All right, Chuck. Thank you very much.
All right. It's Chris.
Sometimes I wake up and I think it's 1920, not 2020.
And now, a minute of wisdom from Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez.
Millennials and people and Gen Z and all these folks that come after us are looking up, and we're like, the world is going to end in 12 years if we don't address climate change. And your biggest issue is how are we going to pay for it? And this is the war. This is our World War II.
I think that there's a lot of people more concerned about being precisely, factually, and semantically correct than about being morally right.
But being factually correct is important.
It's absolutely important.
And if we work our butts off to make sure that we take back all three chambers of Congress, all three chambers of government, the presidency, the Senate, and the House in 2020, we can't start working in 2020.
You're listening to the Howie Carr Show.
Everyone knows I love coffee and I'm not giving it up. I know that it would keep me up from time to time, but no longer with Balance 7. Balance 7 is a clear mineral liquid that you take 3 times a day to break down the acid in your body. When it does this, you'll feel better, and I sleep better. Often I'm asked to try products and I could be very skeptical on their claims. But with Balance 7, it was all 100% true. With Balance 7, I didn't feel my energy starting to flag as the day wore on. Because by sleeping better at night, it also gave me mental clarity during the day. Balance 7 is a highly alkalizing concentrate. That means it reduces the acids that have built up in your body. Balance 7 is also known for reducing acid reflux and heartburn as it did for the mailroom manager. Balance 7 is made of safe, all-natural ingredients. If you suffer from heartburn, acid reflux, or sleep issues, you should give Balance 7 a try. Order the 8-ounce 12-pack supply at balance7.com. Put in code word Howie. You will save $10 and you'll also get free shipping. Balance7.com.
Hello, all the participants in tonight's event. We can overcome the deadly virus. We can reward work. We will reclaim our credibility. The pandemic, we need all our strength to persevere. Rural versus urban. America built of decency. I took it to instill public confidence in the vaccine. President-elect Harris took hers today for the same reason. Everybody is entitled to be treated with decency. All my colleagues I serve with in the House and the Senate up here. James Joyce was said to have told a friend, I understand they worry about their jobs. I understand, like my dad, they lay in bed staring at the ceiling. Yes. God love you, man. You're a one-horse pony. Come on, give me a break, man.
And now, 1 minute of Nancy Pelosi.
It is a bill that is much needed for our farmers and ranchers. I think there are only 47 votes against it in the House of Representatives. The American people should know the source of it. Again, we are engaged in the year-end continuing resolution, Homeland Security. I'm not sure. No, I haven't spoken to him since he called the other day, which was a very amicable conversation. Amiable, I guess you would say, not amicable. And I talked to Chuck last night to say, we haven't had an answer. There are other things that are going on that are newsworthy, and I think you'd have more viewers or readers if people address concerns that people have. The list goes on about
You're listening to the Howie Carr Show.
Joe Biden doesn't have time for malarkey, and he also doesn't have a lot of time for geography. Take a listen.
The people of Nevada are watching, and I'm going to be out there seeing them very soon. Tonight, though, we just heard from the first 2 of 50 states. It's important that Iowa and Nevada have spoken, but look, we need to hear from Nevada and South Carolina and Super Tuesday states and beyond.
And Biden doesn't know the difference between Iran and Iraq. He's gotten it wrong 4 times.
We tried it in Iraq. It's not working, so now we're going to try, in Iran. Excuse me. We tried in Ukraine.
He always gets the name wrong.
I love this place. Look, what's not to like about Vermont in terms of the beauty of it? And what a neat town. This is sort of a scenic, beautiful town. I like Keene a lot.
How many times has he missed it? He's in Iowa. It's great to be in the great state of Ohio. And they say, Joe, you're in Iowa.
How many unsafe bridges you still have here in the state of Iowa? And I was just in Ohio because they have more.
Now's the perfect time to get a pair of premium wireless earbuds, and Raycon is the way to go. Raycon start at about half the price of other premium brands on the market, and they sound just as amazing. And Raycon's everyday E25 earbuds are their best model yet. You get 6 hours of playtime, seamless Bluetooth pairing, more bass, and a more compact design that gives you a comfortable, noise-isolating fit. Perfect for conference calls, video chats, or binging podcasts. Raycon was founded by Ray J, and celebrities like Cardi B and J.R. Smith have already given Raycons their seal of approval. I love my Raycons, and Grace loves hers, too.
Howie, I love my Raycons. Best birthday gift ever.
I listen to much better music than she does, though.
Hey, that's not true.
Now it's your turn to see what the hype is all about. Go to buyraycon.com/Howie. That's buyraycon.com/Howie. Buyraycon.com/Howie.
And now, 1 minute of Nancy Pelosi.
It is a bill that is much needed for our farmers and ranchers. I think there are only 47 votes against it in the House of Representatives. The American people should know the source of it. Again, we are engaged in the year-end continuing resolution, Homeland Security. I'm not sure. No, I haven't spoken to him since he called the other day, which was a very amicable conversation. Amiable, I guess you would say, not amicable. And
Better strap yourself in. It's time for the Howie Carr Show.
How much time do we still have left to avert climate catastrophe?
Well, the scientists told us 3 years ago we had 12 years to avert the worst consequences of climate crisis. We are now 3 years gone, so we have 9 years left.
We're all gonna die! I can't believe this is happening!
See, this is the problem with where we are, is that he's not telling the truth. He knows he's not. Of course, he knows he's not telling the truth, but he knows you know.
Yeah. You got to consider the source. You have to consider the source.
Live from the Matthews Brothers Studios.
This you're not going to believe.
They want to pick on us because they want their babysitters back.
My hair's on fire about the whole thing.
We have the meeting open to the public right now. Nuh-uh.
I'm afraid so, yes.
Rump swabs, hacks, and moonbats beware. It's Howie Carr.
Did you notice Charlie Parker didn't have a press conference today after his "My hair's on fire" statement to National Panhandler Radio yesterday, to their chuckles and guffaws? Because nothing's really on the level, is it? Not at the State House. Or at the White House, for that matter. Welcome to the Howie Carr Show. The toll-free number, if you'd like to join us, is, as always, 844-500-4242, 844-500-4242. And the President of the United States was supposed to be in Michigan yesterday, but there was a light dusting of snow, so the White House shut down. There was a lid put on at 8 o'clock. In the morning, not 8 p.m., 8 a.m. But he did go to Michigan today, and he had to deliver an address to the G7 nations. These are the big industrial nations, UK, France, Germany, Italy, Japan, I don't know, one or two others. I can't remember. I don't care. I just looked it up today before the show. But he addressed them, and it was a It was a very Biden-esque performance, you know? And again, it was virtual, but he was outside the basement. He was outside the Oval Office, outside the West Wing. He was actually in Michigan when he delivered it, I guess. So he was.
No, he was in the Oval Office.
Oh, he was.
He was. In
oh,
the
this
White
was
House.
before. This was before he went to Michigan.
Yes,
then.
this was before.
Do we know if this was taped?
So it was presented as if it were live. I don't think they said explicitly it was live, but there was really no way to verify if it were live. There were no reaction. There was no interaction between the host and Joe Biden. It could have been taped.
But on the other hand, as you hear these sound bites, you're going to say, you would think that they would have said, Mr. President, can we have take two here?
Or at least have several different camera angles that they could switch between.
Right. So they could edit it. Put a little bit of coherence in it because there isn't any. But the first thing I want to play is just where he delivers a modified apology tour for asking the NATO nations to pay their fair share of the bills for defending the Western democracies against whatever here. Cut 4.
I know the past few years have strained and tested our transatlantic relationship, but the United States is determined to re-engage with Europe.
The United States is determined not to ask you to pay for anything. We'll pick up the tab for everything, whether it's illegal alien gangbangers coming across the southern border or allowing terrorists to come in as quote unquote refugees or not making you pay any of your bills. And we'll shut down the Keystone Pipeline so China can get some cheaper energy and Warren Buffett can deliver whatever oil is left from Saskatchewan and Alberta on his railroads and make billions of dollars. Okay? Everything will be fine. So let's go down the Dementia Joe sound cuts. First of all, he said he was a professor after he was vice president. They set up some kind of school or program at the University of Pennsylvania. Do we know if he ever set foot actually in a classroom?
I think he maybe had 2 or 3 speaking engagements, and that was it.
So in other words, Taylor,
than Elizabeth Warren.
I am more of a Harvard professor than he is a University of Pennsylvania professor, because I went there 5 weeks for my little course.
That's fair to say. Yes.
Yes. Okay. Well, here I'm going to enter as a Harvard professor emeritus. I'm going to introduce a University of Pennsylvania, a fellow Ivy Leaguer professor emeritus to brag about this. Cut 1.
And 2 years ago, as you pointed out, when I last spoke in Munich, I was a private citizen. I was a professor, not an elected official.
He was a professor. Professor Big Guy. All right. Was he teaching Chinese or just how to shake down the Chinese? Probably the latter. Okay, so here we're going to have some cuts now where he has a few problems. Cut 2.
My administration strongly supports the diplomatic process that's underway and to bring an end to this war that is closing out 20 years.
Closing out 20 years? That's why we're going to start the process. Okay, now we come to Iraq. Cut 3.
Just this week, NATO defense ministers endorsed significant expanded training and advisory mission in Iraq, which will be vital to the ongoing fight against ISIS.
Okay, can we quote you on that? Cut 5.
Where the rights of all are protected and the rule of law is upheld. None of this has fully succeeded in this. None of us is fully succeeding in this division. We continue to work toward it.
I mean, obviously he hasn't read this stuff. It's just appearing on a teleprompter in front of him, and he's reading it for the first time. And within 5 minutes, he won't remember a single thing that he read. Cut 6.
We must demonstrate that democracy can still deliver for our people.
Democracies, he said? Let me hear that again.
We must demonstrate that democracy can still deliver for our people.
Corporate governance. Don't we all spend a lot of time worrying about corporate governance? Cut 7.
U.S. and European companies are required to publicly disclose corporate governance structures and abide by rules to deter corruption and monopolistic practices.
Oh, boy. You know, if he weren't president, he could be chairman of the Securities and Exchange Commission. He could be secretary of the Treasury. He really has a handle on corporate governance. Okay. Now, there are a couple of key words you're going to hear in this next sound cut. See if you can identify the key words. Cut 8.
I'm eager to hear next from my good friends and outstanding leaders.
Let me hear that one again. I'm eager to hear that one again.
I'm eager to hear next from my good friends and outstanding leaders.
Okay. Now, another thing that all of us care about, a major issue in our life, is the Mars rover, right? Cut 9.
Over the next few years, Percy, as it's been called, but Perseverance, will range and collect samples from the red planet.
What? Did you?
Over the next few years, Percy, as it's been called, but Perseverance.
Percy?
Yeah, I guess that's the nickname. I just picked up on it from listening to that again, but he slurred and stumbled so much through that.
Did he say the Mars rover is nicknamed Percy?
I think that's what he was trying to say. The full name is Perseverance, but they persevere.
Over the next few years, Percy, as it's been called, but Perseverance.
And Johnny Damon is saying, and I got pulled over. This guy claims he's never had a drink, and he's slurring his words like that. All right. And this is the final cut. I don't know how bad this one is or not, but it's just weird. Cut 10.
I had planned on being in Texas the middle of next week, but what I don't want to be is a burden when the president lands in any city in America. It creates it has a long tail.
But he likes pulling tails.
I know. That's just what I was thinking. It's a longer tail than Major has. Now, if he goes down to Texas, though, do you think Senator Cruz would let him pull Snowflake's tail? I don't know. He couldn't bend down. Snowflake's a pretty small dog. He couldn't get down that low, I don't think. Or if he could, he wouldn't get. He probably wouldn't get back up. All right. 844-500-4242. We'll take some calls when we come back. We will try to persevere as
well. We've got some more Biden cuts if you're interested.
Oh, we do?
His speech in Michigan today.
It's a daily double of Joe Biden today, huh?
Double header.
Is this are they good?
Sorry,
are they
Johnny Damon?
It's a double header or just a double for Johnny Damon? All right. Hit refresh on your dinner routine with HelloFresh. Right now, you can take advantage of a new limited time offer and see why HelloFresh is America's #1 meal kit. It's snowing, seems like every other day. Do you really want to go out and fight the snow and the ice and the slush? And then you get to the parking lot and you got to go in and put on a mask and fight the Karens who are giving you dirty looks. Do you really want to go to the supermarket just to buy the same old food?
Look at all these poor people in Texas. They're going to the supermarket and there's nothing there.
Yeah. I mean, it's
HelloFresh would just give it right to your door.
It's so simple. If you just order your food from HelloFresh, it gives you simple recipes and fresh ingredients sourced directly from growers and delivered to your door, contact-free. And you get a change of pace from the stuff you've been eating for all these weeks or years. With more than 25 weekly recipes, there's something for everyone to enjoy, including family-friendly, vegetarian, and low-calorie options. Say goodbye to never-ending meal planning and prepping, and hello to new 10 to 20-minute meals, low prep recipes, quick breakfasts, and lunches. HelloFresh recipe cards are easy to follow. Just ask the mailroom manager. We've been eating HelloFresh meals for a few weeks now. They're great. With simple steps and pictures so you can get meals on the table in less than 30 minutes. Plus, by skipping the grocery stores, you can save up to 40% on groceries. You can cut food waste by 25% and stop overbuying. You can also cut having to wear a mask and running into those nasty Karens who want to tell you what to do. Go to HelloFresh.com and use code Howie10 for 10 free meals, including free shipping for a limited time only. Just go to HelloFresh.com and use code Howie10 for 10 free meals. HelloFresh.com. I'm Howie Carr.
When Howie's on, every radio is a magic radio.
This hour of the Howie Carr Show is brought to you today in part by Nauset Beach Inn. Open this winter for the first time in 63 years. Take advantage of their ocean view room rate while rooms are still available. Low price available only at nausetbeachinn.com.
I tested positive. Let's use this example of me having it as proof that you can get it too. God forbid, the rest of us should be staying at home for our mothers and the people that we love. And to keep us farther apart will ultimately bring us closer together in this cause.
I guess there's some good Cuomo stuff today. I'm just looking at the New York Post website.
Where the virus goes, the way to stop it will.
Is it not on your cut sheet?
Oh, is this it? Oh, you've already got it up. Okay.
What do you think we do? Just sleep here? Come on.
Okay, I got it then. I'm sorry.
It's all right.
Facing in my space, and
oh man, these look really good. This nasty business
right here is the official.
I didn't pull these. Matt did. I was, producing Grace's show this week.
Okay, so how good are these Biden cuts?
I haven't listened to them all. Matt's pulling these.
Okay, how many we got?
Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11.
Wow.
11.
Wow. And this is about the Pfizer factory in Michigan?
Yeah, there's a lot more stumbling. He says COVID-9 again. There's another cut where he says Kalamazoo, but he can't say TCF.
TCF? What does that mean?
Yeah. It's an abbreviation, an acronym. He can't say the three letters TCF in sequence, but he can say Kalamazoo.
That's because he used to dance to Glenn Miller's great tune, I Got a Gal in Kalamazoo. That's how he knows that. That's from his salad years. Howie, what are you waiting for? More hair to fall out? Get the hair you've always wanted. Hairman.com/Howie. The Moonbats always say Donald Trump isn't very bright. But what about Barack Hussein Obama? Let's listen to some of his greatest hits.
I've now been in 57 states. I think one left to go. I don't know what the term is in Austrian.
The Cambridge police acted stupidly.
And there has never been any man or woman more qualified for this office than Hillary Clinton.
There are neighborhoods around the country where it is easier for a 12 or 13-year-old to purchase a gun and cheaper than it is for them to get a book.
I believe in the Second Amendment. It's there written on the paper.
All right, Howie, I gotta give you a heads up on this one. He was touring the factory, and one of the workers came up to him and said his dad died of COVID. And Biden said, "Oh, that's terrible. Can I call him?"
Oh, my God.
Coming back.
You regret it to his dying day, if ever he lives that long.
Howie Carr is back.
844-500-40. Oh man, that we just played with Biden, that was just an appetizer for what's coming up. Take a screen break today with Raycon wireless earbuds. Raycons offer water and sweat-resistant construction and seamless Bluetooth pairing. And with 6 hours of playtime, you can unplug for a while. You can listen to Biden cuts if you want to. Get 15% off at buyraycon.com/Howie, buyraycon.com/Howie. Taylor, what's the poll question? What are the results thus far?
I'm laughing so hard. I can't get through this poll question. This is hilarious.
You haven't even heard it yet. You're getting people's expectations up too high.
Okay.
This. I'll give you a hint. This is right up there when he asked the guy who's in the wheelchair to stand up. This is even better than that. Okay, go ahead.
Okay.
But with the poll question first?
What's the worst abuse of it? Oh, I'm sorry. This is too funny. All right. What's the worst abuse of a dog? Leaving Snowflake alone in Houston. Oh boy. Leaving Seamus on the car roof during a road trip to Ontario, or eating a dog in Indonesia.
Eating a dog in Indonesia.
76% say eating a dog in Indonesia.
Okay, now we got through that. So now we'll bring on the bear. We'll play the best cut first. So Biden is in this factory. I guess it's a Pfizer factory. It's where they're making the serum.
Vaccines, yeah.
Yeah, they're making the vaccines. And so he's touring it, and a worker comes up to him, and this is what transpires.
One of the people in this building came up to me and said, "My father-in-law is dying from COVID." I said, "Can I call him?" He said, "No, he couldn't take a call."
He's dying, or is he dead?
He's dead.
He's dead?
I'm pretty sure that's what he said.
Oh man. Okay. Let's move on. What else have we got from the factory floor?
Oh my God. A lot of stumbling and mumbling.
Experts ensuring sterile environments so that.
See, this is the problem. He had to speak semi-extemporaneously, right? He was doing a little ad-libbing, or as Ted Kennedy used to say, a little ab-libbing. Okay, keep going.
And listen to Dr. Fauci. Dr. Fauci assured me that COVID-19 vaccines were safe.
So can we quote the COVID-19 vaccine is safe? You know, I know the infection rates have gone down, so I guess they've gone down so much that COVID-19 has now been reduced to COVID-9. This isn't the first time he said COVID-9. Let's hear that one again.
And listen to Dr. Fauci. Dr. Fauci assured me that COVID-19 vaccines were safe.
Maybe Charlie Parker should set up a hotline where you can get, if you can't get a COVID-19 vaccine in Massachusetts, maybe you can get a COVID-9 vaccine. Next.
At the Expo Center here in Kalamazoo, to the TCF Center in Detroit.
I told Taylor the reason he can say Kalamazoo, but he can't say TCF is because he remembers that old great Glenn Miller tune from 1940. I got a gal in Kalamazoo. That was in his salad days. That's when he used to watch FDR on the TV. Taylor.
Pardon me, boys. Is that the Chattanooga Choo-Choo?
Pardon me, boys. Is that the Chattanooga terrorist shooting up the Army recruiting station? Next. What do we got?
Look, I know it's inconvenient, but you're making a difference when you do it. Everything we do matters. We need everyone to do their part for themselves, for their loved ones, and yes, for your country.
This is about masks, right? Unless, of course, you're an illegal alien, in which case you don't need to have masks. You don't need to take the vaccine. You don't need to get a job. You don't need to speak English. We'll take care of everything for you. And if you don't want to take the COVID-19, if you don't want to take the COVID-19 vaccine, that's okay too.
Both parties. I've met with them in my office. I've met with them on the internet, on Zooming on with them.
Can we quote you on that, Mr. President? Bring out the Ouija board, please. I'm Howie Carr.
I'm sorry, Howie. That was too good not to laugh that hard.
People love stuff like that.
Yeah. We got this guy coming on, Chris Cox.
I know. I got that. I'm ready. Taylor, you ever hear of Bactine? You ever hear of Bactine, McKay?
No.
You know, like Seabreeze. You know Seabreeze, right? I forget what you call it. It's like an antiseptic thing.
Are you talking to me?
Yeah, I was saying, do you ever hear of Bactine?
Yeah, I've heard of Bactine.
Yeah, that's what someone's saying. He's getting Bactine confused with Bactine. You know, another something from his youth. I don't even know if do they have Bactine anymore? I wonder.
Follow orders without first hearing a made-up story.
And he started to cry, and I gave him a hug. He was a big, huge guy. It was like hugging a mountain. And then he said, "See those two kids up there?" And he said, "Those are my sons." They were both spectacular football players at New Bedford High School who were given college scholarships, and I ruined their lives.
Yeah, they still make Bactine.
Really?
Antiseptic spray.
Yeah, antiseptic. That's what I thought the word was. You've been hearing me talk about Super Beets for a while now, and I'm sure some of you are still thinking, why Super Beets? You could take it from me. The benefits of Super Beets are incredible. I take them twice a day, once in the morning when I get up, even before I have my first cup of coffee, and the other time in the afternoon, right before the show. It gives me a burst of energy. It's great for my blood pressure. It's good for circulation. It just makes you feel better. If that doesn't convince you, we can talk about the science behind Super Beets. Beets have nitrates. Nitrates support better blood flow, and better blood flow equals better energy and efficiency throughout the body, and even supports healthy blood pressure. But Super Beets does so much more than eating regular beets and is unparalleled compared to other beet powders. Just one scoop of Super Beets has the nitric oxide equivalent of 3 whole beets. Go to superbeetsradio.com/Howie and try out Super Beets yourself. www.superbeetsradio.com/Howie. www.superbeetsradio.com/Howie.
They're outlandish, they're outrageous, and they're hypocrites. They're the women of The View.
Bernie was so menschy in that moment, like a real guy. I actually am aroused by him.
Timothy McVeigh was a Christian. Just saying.
Hitler was a Christian.
Well, he didn't like the Catholics.
Trump needs to be medicated and hospitalized at this point, or he is going to just kill all of us.
I mean, do we have to wait till the hammer and sickle is on the American flag before we stand up to this guy?
Joy, you've worn blackface.
I did not go in blackface, please.
No, she was not in blackface.
Thank you.
It was a Halloween party. I went as a beautiful African woman. Did you have tanning lotion on? A little. I had makeup that was a little bit darker than my skin.
I'm hoping Dr. Jill becomes a Surgeon General. She's a hell of a doctor.
Whoopi, you said that Roman Polanski, it wasn't rape.
I know it wasn't rape.
Child molest, maybe? I'm not sure.
It was something. It was something else, but I don't believe it was rape.
Oh, no.
This is Charlie Baker.
Hey, everybody. Massachusetts Governor Charlie Baker here.
And these are his friends.
There's a group of about 10 people outside of work that represent the entire universe of the community that I've spent time with and my wife has spent time with since March.
In the world of Charlie Baker and his friends, the real world of panic porn, political leaders cannot survive without absolute power. And the public can't be expected to blindly follow orders without first hearing a made-up story.
We spent time with about 10 people, period. We have a lot of friends we have not seen for months, and we don't know when we will see them. There are lots of people we haven't seen in like forever.
It's a confusing, nonsensical, follow-the-science world, but it's the only world they know.
Those are the rules in this game that we all need to play by.
And they're the only friends Charlie Baker has.
My wife and my circle of friends has gotten very small.
Live from the Matthews Brothers Studios.
I knew that word vaccine sounded familiar, and a couple of the texters have mentioned it. Bactine. Remember we were little kids? I guess they still sell it, but we had some around the house. If you had a little scrape or a mosquito bite, I remember they would put it on mosquito bites. So if you get COVID-19, just put a little. If you get COVID-9, just put a little Vactine on it, and it'll. If you don't have any Vactine, go with the Sea Breeze. Same thing, maybe a little stronger with Sea Breeze. Anyway, Bikers for Trump goes back to 2015. As soon as he came down the escalator and started talking, a lot of people were suddenly very impressed with Donald Trump, who, maybe even hadn't watched The Apprentice or gone to any of his casinos or been on Trump Airlines or anything like that. And soon thereafter, Bikers for Trump was founded, and the guy who founded it or one of the guys anyway, was Chris Cox, and he's been with Trump ever since. And Bikers for Trump is still around, and Chris Cox is now trying to start a movement to draft Trump in 2024. Chris Cox, thanks for being with us here on the Howie Carr Show.
Thank you, Howie. I'm pleased to be here today.
So isn't it a little early, though, to be trying to draft Donald Trump?
Well, when the Democrats came out for an impeachment for the sole reason to see he could never run for office again, it made a lot of sense to show the support he had. So we launched the draft Donald Trump for 2024. We got tens of thousands of people who come on bikersfortrump.com and sign that petition. And we're just trying to show that regardless if Donald Trump runs for office or not, he will be a deciding factor on who wins the next nomination for the Republican Party, for a lot of, for obvious reasons.
So where can people go if they want to sign the petition to urge Donald Trump or to draft Donald Trump?
That'd be bikersfortrump.com. You can go there and sign that petition, and you can get behind us and just show the support the president has. He is, he's had unwavering support. We didn't elect a politician in 2016. We elected a businessman with the work ethics of a farmer. And unlike any other politician before him, he made and actually kept his promises. And, and he's got a track record to prove it. And we're just here for the sole purpose of supporting Donald Trump as Bikers for Trump. We're not bikers who think we know best. We follow his lead. And, we just want to support him and show that he is a man of integrity. He's he's a decent man. And we've got his back, like he's had our back for the last.
He has, no doubt about that. How about these Republican politicians who are already making the trek to Mar-a-Lago to, sort of get his support? And one of them is Nikki Haley. Can you believe that? Nikki Haley. She went before the Republican National Committee last week and ripped him to shreds and said he'd let everybody down, and that he went down a path he shouldn't have. We shouldn't have followed him. We shouldn't have listened to him, and we can't let that happen ever again. She said all these rotten things about him, and then she tried to get a meeting with him at Mar-a-Lago, and you know what happened, Chris, right?
Yes, sir. It's had a touch. Not only I'm from the great state of South Carolina, and Look at Rice. Rice voted for impeachment. The new congressional member, Nancy Mace, soon after she was sworn in, was on national news on a liberal news show on a Saturday or on a Sunday, stating that Donald Trump had no future in the Republican Party after running as to be one of his biggest supporters. It's unbelievable. Donald Trump has given us a vision, a direction. He's given us a track record, and he is the future of the Republican Party because his voice speaks louder than any to 75 million people, and those people will be behind him. And look at the price of gas going up. Look at how long it took for Biden to even reach out to, if he's even talked to Benjamin Netanyahu.
I think he finally did. Finally.
Oh, okay,
yeah.
Good. But yeah, Nikki Haley, what a disappointment there. And her trying to step away from the president. And for a woman like that in her position to go talk to Politico, knowing that they're going to spin her words, that's just pure arrogance and, quite frankly, a lot of ignorance there.
And, she was going nowhere in that campaign until Sarah Palin came down and bailed her out. She was in last place, I believe, in the Republican field for governor. Palin comes down and suddenly she rises to first. So and then when she wants a big job, Trump makes her the ambassador to the United Nations. It's a pretty plush position. And yet after she gets all this help from the non-deep state wing of the Republican Party, she turns around and stabs him in the back.
And for no reason. What would be the upside of that? It just really, the political math here makes no sense. That's the problem with the politicians. See, for every action, there's a reaction. But when you're in a leadership position, your reaction should first be calculating what your district, what the people that sent you there to do, what your state sent you there to do. And a lot of times they're just doing what they want to do. And they just really forget about the people that sent them there. It's really sad. But 22 is coming up. And the Bikers for Trump, with the 400,000 members, our social media reach at times is up to 10 million a week. And we're going to do our best to remind everybody who and these politicians are and show their true colors.
All right. Chris Cox, we appreciate you being with us. If it's not Trump, who do you think the Bikers for Trump would go for?
Well, that remains to be seen. But right now, we like the track record that the president has put forth. We like his honesty, like the fact that we know exactly what he's thinking. Nobody's writing these sound bites for him so that he comes across sounding like somebody he's not. What you see is what you get. He tells it like it is. And he's got a lot more support than some people would like to think. But the Bikers for Trump are behind him 100%. He is the George Washington of the Bikers for Trump. We've got his back 100%. We will continue to.
All right. Chris Cox, we appreciate it. If you want to sign the petition to draft Donald Trump, bikersfortrump.com. Thank you for being with us, Chris Cox. We appreciate it. 844-500-4242. That's the toll-free number of the Howie Carr Show. It's really amazing to see these Republicans stabbing him in the back. And I thought about that as a poll question. Maybe that'll be for next week. Who stabbed him in the back more? Like Nikki Haley, who we were just talking about, the former governor of South Carolina and the former UN ambassador going before the RNC. I'm so happy that he said, no, I'm not going to talk to you. Why would you talk to somebody like that? I know, the Godfather said, keep your friends close and your enemies closer, but why? In the case of Nikki Haley, she was going nowhere. She was with Marco Rubio, the amnesty candidate in 2016. And she was speaking out against him in the Republican primary down in South Carolina. And then he gave her a job. And look what she did in return. Look at Mitt Romney. Mitt Romney, he's either at your throat or at your feet. And after when he needed Trump in 2012, he was at his feet. When Trump was the leader, he was at his throat. When Trump was elected, he went to New York to Trump Tower and begged for the job of Secretary of State. He was at his feet. And then he turns around and he rips Trump apart. Mitch McConnell, same thing. Mitch McConnell was down, as Trump said on one of his appearances. He was down 20 points in Kentucky, and then he running against an extremely weak candidate. I think her name was Amy McGrath, But people were ready to toss him out because he'd been in office his entire life. And Trump came and helped him out and made ads for him, raised money for him. And McConnell was reelected pretty handily. And what was McConnell's response? First of all, his wife quits the cabinet, the transportation secretary after the so-called riots. And incidentally, speaking of the riots, I was reading the Daily Mail today about they had a story about all these Capitol cops that have been suspended since the riots because supposedly they weren't behaving properly. One of them was wearing a MAGA hat during the riots. And would you believe the Daily Mail, which I know they sensationalize things for clickbait, but I kind of like the paper. It's the website. It's a tabloid in London. And they said again today that the Trump supporters killed a Capitol police officer, murdered a Capitol police officer with a fire extinguisher. I mean, that story has now been debunked for a week, and they're still running with it. It's very fake news. It's the big lie. I mean, come on. It's amazing. Glenn Grunwald had a great piece on it, very lengthy on I think it's called Substack. That's what he works for now. That he got basically tossed out of his own his own website for being insufficiently politically correct, and he just went over the whole list of all the BS about the quote unquote insurrection. It's just all crap. And then I don't know if you've seen this, the Democrats have introduced a bill, not all of them, but some of the real nuts have introduced a bill to stop any president who's been impeached more than once from being buried in Arlington National Cemetery. Now, number one, I don't think President Trump is really, thinking about where he's going to be buried right about now. And I think it'd probably be very unlikely he'd want to be buried in Arlington National Cemetery, just because, what does it matter where you're buried anyway? But they want this, again, you can't be, if you're a president, you can't be buried in Arlington National Cemetery if you've been impeached more than once, because they want to give Bill Clinton the opportunity because he was such a patriotic American to be buried in Arlington Cemetery. Bruce, you're next with Howie Carr. Go ahead, Bruce.
Hey, Howie.
Hi.
Yeah, that him getting buried there should be wherever he wants to get buried. They can't make a difference. They just want to trample over him. But he has tried to drain the swamp, Howie.
I know.
Tried to drain the swamp. But what he did, they didn't let him drain the swamp. They put a little plug in there. But now that they're floundering, what little water they got left in the swamp, he's going to expose every one of them.
I tell you though, Bruce, I think they got a lot of water left in the swamp. They're suffering a few setbacks here and there, and people are starting to wake up every time they go to the gas pump, and it's gone up another 25 or 50 cents per gallon. They're starting to wake up a little bit. Someone just asked me on the text line, do you think the Democrats and the media are starting to have buyer's remorse over what a fool Joe Biden is? No, I don't think they care at all. They hated Trump so much it didn't matter. They weren't voting for Joe Biden. They were voting against Donald Trump. And however many million there were, they're happy with the way things are going. Most of them, you got to remember, don't have jobs. They're either on trust funds, or their parents are supporting them, or they're just flat out on welfare. Or if they have real quote unquote jobs, they're working for nonprofits, or they're teachers that haven't been to work in a year. Or they work at a town hall or state government. They haven't been to work for a year. You think they're dissatisfied? No, they don't care. Donald Trump isn't there anymore. He supported people with hard hats. He supported energy independence. He wanted a safe and secure border, the United States. He wanted everybody with a real job. That could not stand as far as the Dems were concerned. 844-500-4242. We'll take more of your calls when we come back. I'm Howie Carr.
He's New England's talk radio king, is Howie Carr.
Have you always wanted to have dinner with me? Well, today may be your lucky day. You can enter to win a free dinner with me just by going to the 110 Grill in Plymouth, Mass. and signing up. You will also get a free copy of Howie's book, Plug Uglies, when you enter to win. The night of the dinner will be Friday, February 26th, so hurry in soon. We will announce the winner Thursday, February 25th. I look forward to dining with you at the 110 Grill and sharing a few cocktails too. There's not a lot of time left, so enter to win today. Don't hesitate. That's the 110
So, Taylor,
Grill
do we know when there's going to be another hearing on these motions? This year, I've got 2 words of advice for you.
I think it was something like
early. This is how we
something like
with the popularity of.
I think it was something like March 25th or something. I've got the date saved in my computer.
So he's going to be in jail till March 25th. Wow.
Don't quote me on that.
That's more than 30 days in the hole. RV.com or visit
60 days in the hole.
In Ware, New Hampshire.
Are we starting to feel bad for Joe Biden? Sorta. Are we going to play his gaffes anyway? Of course.
My name's Joe Biden. I'm a Democratic candidate for the United States Senate. Now we need to stand behind Jamie Harrison, the next president, next senator. I'm looking forward to appointing the first African-American woman to the United States Senate. Just like here in California, here in Nevada, back in the spring.
Yeah, March 25th, 8:30 a.m.
So he's in jail till then?
Looks like it.
Wow. He's not going to get a lot of detail work, huh?
Ain't that a bitch?
You know the thing. It says you cannot have 20, 30, 40, 50 clips in a weapon.
We'll see who's sleepy.
Mr. Vice President, thank you.
All right, Chuck. Thank you very much.
All right. It's Christmas.
Sometimes I wake up and I think it's 1920, not 2020.
Everyone knows I love coffee and I'm not giving it up. I know that it would keep me up from time to time, but no longer with Balance 7. Balance 7 is a clear mineral liquid that you take 3 times a day to break down the acid in your body. When it does this, you'll feel better, and me, I sleep better. Often I'm asked to try products and I can be very skeptical on their claims. But with Balance 7, it was all 100% true. With Balance 7, I didn't feel my energy starting to flag as the day wore on, because by sleeping better at night, it also gave me mental clarity during the day. Balance 7 is a highly alkalizing concentrate. That means it reduces the acids that have built up in your body. Balance 7 is also known for reducing acid reflux and heartburn as it did for the mailroom manager. Balance 7 is made of safe, all-natural ingredients. If you suffer from heartburn, acid reflux, or sleep issues, you should give Balance 7 a try. Order the 8-ounce 12-pack supply at balance7.com. Put in code word Howie. You will save $10 and you'll also get free shipping. Balance7.com.
200 moms, dads, sons, daughters, grandparents who are no longer with us. I think it's up to 30,000 people have died. Over 600,000 dead, 600,000+ people.
60,000.
660. We're in the middle of a pandemic that had cost us more than 85,000 jobs, lives of millions of people. Now we have over 120 million dead from COVID. 200 million people have died. 205 million people, 1,000 people. 210,000 people have died. 4 million existing billion, 500,000. 50,000. A class of 25, you end up having 2 classes of 12, for example. But you know, in the 2020 census, which is now 2 censuses ago, the Oval back in May 9, 2019, a $15 million, or $15,000, $15 minimum wage. I got to the Senate 180 years ago.
Leave the guns. Take the cannoli.
The Howie Carr Show.
As I told you earlier, we have the entire internal affairs reports on the state troopers' drunken weekends in Las Vegas in June of 2019, and then 2 weeks later, their drunken visit to a country music concert in Foxborough. And those entire reports are posted at howiecarrshow.com. right at the top of the page. If you want to read the entire report, I wrote a column about it. That's there too, with the headline, "Wait, The Hangover is a Cop Flick." But we've got the whole reports. And now we've just got a motion. Brian Erickson, another allegedly drunken state cop, he's accused of throttling his girlfriend a couple of weeks ago in Exeter, New Hampshire. He's been in the whole Rockingham County House of Correction since then. And yesterday, his lawyer said they should give him bail. The judge should change his order and give him bail because he would move to Seabrook, New Hampshire, and wear a bracelet. Today, the state filed a motion, an objection to the motion to reconsider. Corporal Raymond, who assessed the defendant, the state trooper, his name is Brian Erickson. He made $186,000 last year, and now he's charged with trying to strangle his girlfriend and fleeing from the police after he fled the scene of the crime. Corporal Raymond conducted the assessment. Corporal Raymond concludes the defendant would be a high risk. Defendant could have called Corporal Raymond to testify. He chose not to. And then he said about for placing the GPS bracelet on the state trooper, the allegedly drunken girlfriend strangling state trooper. He's married, by the way. Placing a bracelet on the defendant may indicate where the defendant is on a map, but it does not indicate who he is with, what he is doing, who he is communicating with, etc. So it says there's going to be another hearing on March 25th, and I'm not sure if that means he's going to be in the hole for another 30 plus days.
30 days in the hole.
We're like 60 days in the hole.
30 days in the
So I guess that is 60 days altogether. 30 days in the hole, 30 days in the hole, 60 days in the hole. I guess he's not going to be getting too much overtime and detail work for the next through March 25th.
Oh, he's going to miss St. Patrick's Day.
Do they bring green beer into the Rockingham County? Probably not. Probably not. John Doe, you're next with Howie Carr. Go ahead, John Doe.
Hey, Howie, I'm behind the loop here. I'm on my drive home from work. I commute an hour a day in Maine. Listen here every day. Love the show.
Thank you.
Just want to mention about the teachers. Previous years, they always complain they're underpaid. They get every summer off. They work 9 months a year, make a full salary, 40, 50 grand a year. Complaining about buying pens and paper and pencils for the kids. Who's buying them for the kids now that they're Zooming?
I know, John. Not all teachers don't want to go back to work, but certainly the heads of their unions are just so adamant about this. First, they said we won't go back till there's a vaccine. Now they're saying there is a vaccine. Why aren't we getting the vaccine first? Then you give them the vaccine. They're going to say the vaccine's not enough. What about the mutants? What about the variants? Yeah, you still have to wear masks. It's just ridiculous what's going on here. And again, I don't blame the rank and file teachers. And there's some of the younger ones, especially, I think, want to get back into the classrooms. And they realize how destructive this is to the kids, not being in the classrooms. And you heard the Oakland school board saying they just want the teachers to be their babysitters, talking about the parents. What a bunch of jerks, huh? I'm Howie Carr. Great news. The Gen 40 heater is back and just in time for the really cold weather. Oil prices are going to go up. The Keystone XL pipeline has been stopped. 35 million gallons of oil a day are gone. Now there is a new moratorium on fracking on federal land. That affects natural gas. It was 10 degrees in parts of New England this past weekend. You need to start planning, and that means you need a Gen 40 heater. Robert from the Cape says the Gen 40 performs like no heater I've ever used. It is remarkable. The Eden Pure Gen 40 makes you feel warmer than your furnace, and it also costs less to run. You may be working from home now, and you will need to pay close attention to your heating bills. The Eden Pure Gen 40 will pay for itself in a matter of weeks. Go to EdenPure.com and put in code word HowieDeal to get $50 off the sale price. That's EdenPure.com and use code word HowieDeal for an extra $50 off. These heaters are in high demand, so go right now to EdenPure.com.
Here's 1 Minute with Governor
Charlie Parker in Massachusetts.
I'd certainly put myself on that list. I'm a basketball player. I always was. There's a lot at stake here. This is not a virus to be trifled with or disrespected. Respect the virus. I have a hard time understanding when we're going to be able to play basketball again. We can start talking about a gradual, careful, data-driven, phased reopening. Don't let a few nice days step on that. I need to talk to the Attorney General and find out what the actual parameters of the ruling are. Did this just happen? And the reason I read that story is because I'm a basketball player and I agree. I was first made aware of the discrepancy on this on the day that the registrar resigned. The vast majority, and I mean like the vast majority of the people who are part of these protests are there to make a point and to make it peacefully. That is so obvious, I'm amazed that anybody could say anything other than that. I would love to be able to open everything up tomorrow. That would be an incredibly irresponsible thing to do.
He's the gaff that keeps on giving. Here's 1 minute of former Vice President Joe Biden.
Your teachers who touch them, figuratively speaking, well, I hope you touch them and tell them how much you love them too. But my point is, when you touch their hearts, I get in trouble with some things I say, but I want to tell you, just be straight up. If I'm your president, for me, it starts here in my gut, goes to my heart, and then I articulate it. And by the way, I sit on the stand and it get hot. I got hairy legs that turn blonde in the sun. And the kids used to come up and reach in the pool and rub my leg down so it was straight, and then watch the hair come back up again. 1.2 billion. So you go ahead and you stack spaghetti sauce at a store in a supermarket. You control the guy or the woman who brings out the carts on a forklift. So I learned about roaches. I learned about kids jumping on my lap, and I've loved kids jumping on my lap.
You're listening to the Howie Carr Show.
Now's the perfect time to get a pair of premium wireless earbuds, and Raycon is the way to go. Raycon start at about half the price of other premium brands on the market, and they sound just as amazing. And Raycon's everyday E25 earbuds are their best model yet. You get 6 hours of playtime, seamless Bluetooth pairing, more bass, and a more compact design that gives you a comfortable, noise-isolating fit. Perfect for conference calls, video chats, or binging podcasts. Raycon was founded by Ray J, and celebrities like Cardi B and J.R. Smith have already given Raycons their seal of approval. I love my Raycons, and Grace loves hers, too.
Howie, I love my Raycons. Best birthday gift ever.
I listen to much better music than she does, though.
Hey, that's not true.
Now it's your turn to see what the hype is all about. Go to buyraycon.com/Howie. That's buyraycon.com/Howie. buyraycon.com/Howie.
Joe Biden's plagiarizing prowess proves one thing: he's been stealing all his life.
Why is it that Joe Biden is the first in his family ever to go to a university?
Why am I the first connect in 1,000 generations to be able to get the university?
Why is it that my wife, who's sitting out there in the audience, is the first in her family to ever go to college?
Why is Glenys the first woman in her family in 1,000 generations to be able to get the university?
No, it's not because they weren't as smart.
Does anybody really think that they didn't get what we had because they didn't have the talent?
It's not because they didn't work as hard.
Or the strength, or the endurance, or the commitment. Of course not.
It's because they didn't have a platform upon which to stand.
It was because there was no platform upon which they could stand.
I should have said, to paraphrase Neil Kinnock, it's the only time I didn't, and all the times I've ever used it. Come on, man.
What deal can we have, Crazy Nancy?
The Constitution does not say that a person can shout wolf in a crowded theater.
But to be clear, you're not taking any arrows out of your quiver. You're not ruling anything out.
Good morning. Sunday morning. Chocolate, candy, chocolate, and then we have some other chocolate here. Consistently practice social distancing.
Why does AOC complain that you have not been grooming younger people for leadership?
I don't know. You'll have to ask her.
That was kind of sharp.
I'm not a big needle taker. I mean, I had a hard time getting my ears pierced. I'm not a big needle taker. I mean,
Mother Earth is angry. She's telling us.
What do you think is causing this erratic behavior?
I think that the president has always had erratic behavior. I have ice cream in my freezer. I guess that's better than having Lysol in somebody's lungs.
civilization as we know it is at stake.
I don't drink, but I'm happy to have ice cream with anybody, anytime.
You're listening to the Howie Carr Show.
Are we starting to feel bad for Joe Biden? Sorta. Are we going to play his gaffes anyway? Of course.
My name's Joe Biden. I'm a Democratic candidate for the United States Senate. Now we need to stand behind Jamie Harrison, the next president, next senator. I'm looking forward to appointing the first African-American woman to the United States Senate. Just like here in California, here in Nevada. Back in the spring, late fall, late spring, late winter, early fall. Anyway, you know what I mean. Look, tomorrow's Superstar Tuesday. I tell you what, I'm rushing ahead, aren't I? We hold these truths to be self-evident. All men and women created by you know the thing. It says you cannot have 20, 30, 40, 50 clips in a weapon.
We'll see who's sleepy.
Mr. Vice President, thank you.
All right, Chuck. Thank you very much.
All right. It's Christmas.
Sometimes I wake up and I think it's 1920, not 2020.
Hair loss is not one of life's more enjoyable experiences. If you're looking to fill in your hairline or reverse years of hair loss, DiStefano Hair Restoration will create a result that will be a transformative experience. The result of my IGT procedure was quite remarkable. I now have fuller, thicker hair so I can even wear it a bit longer. There are a few major decisions I've made in my life that I wish I did sooner. My hair restoration is number one. It was by far one of the best moves I've ever made. My hair looks awesome, and the confidence from having a full head of hair again has left me feeling great. I used to look in the mirror and dreaded seeing my ever-increasing bald spot. Now, when I look in the mirror, I see the new me with a full head of thick hair. For information on how to make the same choice I did, go to hairman.com/Howie. What are you waiting for? More hair to fall out? Get the hair you've always wanted. Hairman.com/Howie.
What deal can we have, Crazy Nancy?
The Constitution does not say that a person can shout wolf in a crowded theater.
But to be clear, you're not taking any arrows out of your quiver. You're not ruling anything out.
Good morning. Sunday morning. Chocolate, candy, chocolate, and then we have some other chocolate here. Consistently practice social distancing.
Why does AOC complain that you have not been grooming younger people for leadership?
I don't know. You'll have to ask her.
That was kind of sharp.
I'm not a big needle taker. I mean, I had a hard time getting my ears pierced. I'm not a big needle taker.
Mother Earth is angry. She's telling us.
What do you think is
Better strap yourself in. It's time for the Howie Carr Show.
How much time do we still have left to avert climate catastrophe?
Well, the scientists told us 3 years ago we had 12 years to avert the worst consequences of climate crisis. We are now 3 years gone, so we have 9 years left.
We're all gonna die! I can't believe this is happening!
See, this is the problem with where we are, is that he's not telling the truth. He knows you know. Of course, he knows he's not telling the truth, but he knows you know.
Yeah. You got to consider the source. You have to consider the source.
Live from the Matthews Brothers Studios.
This you're not going to believe.
They want to pick on us because they want their babysitters back.
My hair's on fire about the whole thing.
We have the meeting open to the public right now.
I'm afraid so, yes.
Rump swabs, hacks, and moonbats beware. It's Howie Carr.
You know, Charlie Parker had a terrible day yesterday, talking about the hair being on fire. The website, the new website crashed instantaneously, and an octopus came onto the screen and a question mark. And Charlie Parker has wisely gone silent today. He has not been around. So as dumb and incompetent and as corrupt as he is less dumb, incompetent, and corrupt than the governor of the neighboring state of New York, Andrew Cuomo. He was out there today, and he really made a total ass out of himself. We've got all the sound cuts for later in the day. That's our tease for later in the show. But right now, it's time for the chump line.
Name two governors with fire issues. Baker with his hair, Cuomo with his pants.
I would say Parker has an issue with his pants being on fire as well. By the way, we have a text from 207. There are many teachers who've been happy to be teaching kids 5 days a week, full-time in person since August. Not all of us are moonbats. I wanted to make that clear. I hope I did. That not all teachers want to continue these lockdowns for the rest of their lives until they retire with a full 80% pension. But too many of their union leaders do.
Hi, Howie. Governor Patrick calling. Wow, you seem to have left out an important choice in your poll question today. You know, kicking a dog into the cold backyard with your Dremel toe. Ted Cruz wouldn't even stoop to that level. You dog kicker. We're going to be fine.
Mr. Gooner, as I said earlier in the day, never objected to me leaving him behind when I went to sunnier climes. He was just happy to be getting his daily ration of chicken.
Copy.
The Chump Line is brought to you by Matthews Brothers, America's oldest window manufacturer. This week celebrating all our past presidents. Whether they served 32 days or 4,422, each one left their mark on this country. Even if it was just the rollout of the vaccine for COVID-19, as Joe Biden said today. Granted, not all of the marks were bullseyes, but at least they're all part of our history, at least for now. God bless America.
The House impeachment managers have announced they're calling Snowflake as their first witness.
I wouldn't put it past them.
There are no vaccines from Gov Charlie because his octopus's portal doesn't work.
Do we have a good audience or what, Taylor, coming up with stuff like that? Again,
Octopus's Garden, right?
Right.
Okay. Yeah, that was very good.
The octopus. And again, if you haven't seen the octopus, I guess the octopus is gone from the website now, but you can go to HowieCarrshow.com and we have a screen save of the octopus. And it's not just an octopus, it's an octopus and a question mark. As what the hell is going on here in this state?
Why wouldn't Joe Biden speak in a virtual meeting? He's a virtual president.
I love that he apologized to basically to NATO for Donald Trump asking them to pay the balance that they owed the North American Treaty Organization. He apologized. How soon until he apologizes directly to the Iranians? Not long, I don't think. The Iranians are already demanding, or the Iranians are, Joe Biden only wants a conditional surrender to the mullahs. They're going to insist on U.S. unconditional surrender. And you know what? They're going to get it.
Governor Parker calling. It is very disappointing to be criticized by B-rated radio talk show hosts regarding unexpected website difficulties.
Yeah, remember, I am a B-rated talk show host. And I started my pile today. I had it in my bag, but now I'm putting all the stories aside. I have a special pile on my desk for unexpected. I think I'll have a column ready to go within a month and I'll have at least 10 references to unexpected difficulties confronting Joe Biden, usually in the economy. I'm going to guess the next one will be gas prices have unexpectedly risen in recent weeks.
Hey, Governor Cuomo, it's easy to go from the highest infection rate to the lowest infection rate when everybody dies.
Boy, that is so true. You know, the New York Times is still trying to keep the rates higher than they really are to keep the hysteria ginned up. There's a whole column about it today in the New York Post. The paper rarely reports unqualified, hopeful news about taming the virus, wherever, in the Bronx, Europe, or Africa. When it does, the good news is shaded with warnings about mutant strains, rare instances of people who fall ill after being inoculated, or the supposed resistance of millions to getting the shots. The story on February 16th about severe inflammatory damage the virus may cause in young people accurately termed the condition rare. Near non-existent is more like it. The cases have been reported in less than 0.001 of 1%. Yet the story ran on page 1 and was under the trumpeted headline, COVID-linked syndrome in children is growing and cases are more severe. And again, it represents 0.001 of 1% of the cases. And it was on the front page of the New York Times because they want to keep the country locked down.
The light will go out in the U.S. if the green nuts get their way.
What song was that he was working off of, Taylor?
When the Lights Go Down in the City by the Eagles.
Okay. All right. Okay. Sorry about that. I should know that, I guess. I think a better Eagles song would be On the Border right now, wouldn't it?
Matt's telling me it was Journey, not the Eagles.
It would be pretty depressing. No, that's why I don't know it. That's why I don't know it if it's Journey. I never was a Journey fan.
No wonder Parker's hair is on fire. He's been proven to be a liar. Now this boar is looking at the door so he can join Plugs in his new hire.
As far gone as Plugs is, I don't think he's picking Charlie Parker off the waiver wire.
Hey, Howie, I'm up here in Boston freezing my butt off in another snowstorm. But somewhere in Florida, basking in the sunshine, is a tin whistle player and a tin gangster.
I left Franny Joyce a message today at his condo in Pompano Beach. I want to know, they're the new odd couple. John Zip Connolly, convicted hitman for the Bulgars, age 80, and Francis Xavier Joyce, tin whistle player in the Bulgars St. Patrick's Day Band, age 77. They're setting up light housekeeping together in Pompano Beach. It's a wonderful story.
Hey, Howie, I'm up here in Boston freezing my butt off in another snowstorm.
There.
And for 1,000. Thank God we killed the oil pipeline and have all this green energy to sustain ourselves. What is something that will never be said in Texas, Sal?
No, it won't. Virtue signaling never produces positive results. That's the lesson of the Texas wind turbine freezing fiasco this week.
In my hand, I hold the last envelope. The Massachusetts vaccine site, Andrew Cuomo's approval ratings, and Howie Carr on a bicycle. Name 3 things that crash. Hey-oh!
The thing is, I came back from my crash. Those other guys aren't coming back.
That was your last Chump Line message. Thank you for calling Howie Carr, you chump.
That's it for the Chump Line today. The Chump Line is the recorded voicemail message service of the Howie Carr Show. You can call and leave a message anytime between the hours of 1 and 4 Eastern each weekday. The Chump Line number, if you'd like to leave such a message, 844-500-4242, 844-500-4242. Press 2 for the Chump line. Leave your message. We may or may not play it at this time each weekday. If you want to hear more Chump line messages and you didn't hear your message, or you just like to hear lots of Chump line messages, you can tune in or go to our podcast, Chopped Chumps. We post it every evening around 7 o'clock. Those are the messages that didn't make it on the broadcast version of the Chump line. The Chump line is brought to you every weekday by Matthews Brothers, America's oldest window manufacturer. This week celebrating all our past presidents. Whether they served 32 days or 4,422, each one left their mark on this country. Granted, not all the marks were bullseyes, but they're all part of our history, at least for now. God bless America.
There are no vaccines from Gov Charlie because his octopus's portal doesn't work.
No, it doesn't. No, it doesn't. February is recognized as American Heart Month, but talking about supporting heart health isn't enough. Nearly half of all U.S. adults have heart health concerns. Despite all the talk this week about cancer deaths, more people die of heart disease than die of cancer. More people die of heart disease than any other malady in the country. You have to keep yourself healthy. You keep weight off. You have to exercise. And one other thing that I do is to take my Super Beats Heart Chews daily. Just 2 Super Beats Heart Chews per day give you the cardiovascular support and promote the heart-healthy energy you need every day. Super Beats Heart Chews combines non-GMO beets and clinically researched grapeseed extract shown to be 2 times as effective at supporting normal blood pressure than a healthy lifestyle alone. In addition to a healthy diet and exercise, supplementing your efforts with Super Beats Heart Chews with your daily routine is an easy decision to make to support healthy blood pressure and heart health.
Sounds like you just grabbed yourself a Super Beat there.
I sure did. I'm going to have one as soon as we finish. You know what they said? Hey, eat it while you're doing it. So I'm going to do it. I'm taking the foil off it. It's like a piece of candy. I have one before I go out on that bike ride in the morning, and then I have one during the show or right before the show. Or I'm having one now. They're delicious, and they give me a little boost of energy to get through the show. They're really good, and I like them a lot. Are you out of them, Taylor, up there?
We're down to the last few in our last bag. So, yes, we're just about out.
Sorry, Taylor. We got plenty here in Florida.
Don't rub it in. Yeah, okay.
Just like we got plenty of sunshine. And now when you buy a bag of Super Beats Heart Chews, you can get a second one for 50% off plus free shipping when you make your purchase at superbeatsradio.com/Howie. That's superbeatsradio.com/Howie. It's great product. superbeatsradio.com/Howie. I'm Howie Carr.
You're tuned into the Howie Carr Radio Network.
Joe Biden accuses Trump of being a racist, but if you listen to Biden's comments, you would agree that he doth protest too much.
If you take a test where you're taking cocaine or not, what do you think, huh? Are you a junkie?
What do you say? The first mainstream African American who is articulate and bright and clean.
Madam President, we have predators on our streets.
That kid wearing a hoodie may very well be the next poet laureate and not a gangbanger.
They are beyond the pale, many of those people.
God love you. You've been here all day. My Lord, you may feel like you're being incarcerated.
We have no choice but to take them out of society.
Poor kids are just as bright and just as talented as white kids.
I think the two-party system is good for the South and good for the Negro.
They're going to put you all back in chains.
Unlike the African American community, with notable exceptions, the Latino community is an incredibly diverse community with incredibly different attitudes about different things.
If you have a problem figuring out whether you're for me or Trump, and you ain't black.
You've been hearing me talk about Super Beats for a while now, and I'm sure some of you are still thinking, why Super Beats? You could take it from me. The benefits of Super Beats are incredible. I take them twice a day, once in the morning when I get up, even before I have my first cup of coffee, and the other time in the afternoon, right before the show. It gives me a burst of energy. It's great for my blood pressure. It's good for circulation. It just makes you feel better. If that doesn't convince you, we can talk about the science behind Super Beats. Beets have nitrates. Nitrates support better blood flow, and better blood flow equals better energy and efficiency throughout the body, and even supports healthy blood pressure. But Super Beets does so much more than eating regular beets and is unparalleled compared to other beet powders. Just one scoop of Super Beets has the nitric oxide equivalent of 3 whole beets. Go to superbeetsradio.com/Howie and try out Super Beets yourself. www.superbeetsradio.com/Howie. www.superbeetsradio.com/Howie.
Normally, we give Fredo Cuomo a lot of attention, but lately it's Governor Andrew Cuomo who's been grabbing headlines. Let's take a listen to some of his best moments.
You're an essential worker, so go take a job as an essential worker.
But the people aren't hiring because of...
No, there are people hiring. You can get a job as an essential worker. So now you can go to work and you can be an essential worker and you're not going to kill anyone. The number is down because we brought the number down. God did not do that. Fate did not do that. Destiny did not do that. We're not going to make America great again. It was never that great. Because I can also see you are in masterful shape, buff even. It has a very nice floral bouquet. A little I detected lilac, hydrangea, tulips. What does it smell like to you? Tulips, yes. Floral bouquet. Because if that's who they are, and if they are the extreme conservatives, they have no place in the state of New York.
He didn't come here to be made sport of.
Funny how? I mean, funny like I'm a clown. I amuse you. I make you laugh. What do you mean funny? Funny how? How am I funny?
Howie Carr is here to stay.
So you have the two wrinkly members of the old Bulger crew, both sides of it, the Whitey crew and the Billy crew. You have Zip Connolly, just let out of prison, a hitman for the gang, and you have the tin whistle player for Billy, Franny Joyce. They're going to live together in an apartment in Pompano Beach, Florida. Franny is 77, and Zip, the hitman, is 80 years old. So, again, they're going to make a TV show. I said The Odd Couple. Someone said the new bosom buddies. Texter came up with that one. I just thought of another one, though, Taylor. Winter Hill Street Blues.
Ooh, very good.
But we can come up with some other ones, too. I just wish Franny would call me back and tell me, you know, what they...
The Golden Guys.
Yeah. This could be a fun column to write. Okay. Take up screen break today with Raycon wireless earbuds. Raycons offer water and sweat resistant construction and seamless Bluetooth pairing. And with 6 hours of playtime, you can unplug for a while. You can listen to the entire, maybe not the entire, but you can listen to a lot of Dirty Rats where Zip makes a lot of appearances. Franny, a few fewer, but he's in there somewhere at the breakfast. Get 15% off at buyraycon.com/Howie, buyraycon.com/Howie. Taylor, what's the poll question? What are the results thus far?
What's the worst abuse of a dog? Leaving Snowflake alone in Houston, leaving Seamus on the car roof during a road trip to Ontario, or eating a dog in Indonesia?
And of course, those would involve three politicians, Senator Ted Cruz, Senator Mitt Romney, and Senator later President Barack Obama. I'm voting for eating the dog in Indonesia. Ali.
79% say eating Ali was the worst thing that you could do to a dog.
Who could argue with that? 844-500-4242. We were talking about how they keep moving the goalposts for opening the schools, reopening the schools. First, it was, just had to shut it down for 15 days to flatten the curve. Then it just expanded and no school. And we're now we're going to reopen half of the schools 1 day a week. And that's going to be that's the Biden plan. So 10% of the schools are going to be open. Now Pelosi is moving the goalposts yet again. Cut 11.
Where there is a high incidence of COVID, most of those schools are virtual or hybrid anyway. They're not actual. They're not actual. And the vaccination might not make it actual anyway.
Huh? That was as incoherent as Biden today in Michigan, or delivering his virtual address to the G7 nations. What did she say? It may be actual vaccines, but it won't make it actual?
Where there is a high incidence of COVID, most of those schools are virtual or hybrid anyway. They're not actual. They're not actual. And the vaccination might not make it actual anyway.
Actually, Madam Speaker, that doesn't make any sense. All right. Will she be able to get an actual hairdo in San Francisco after everybody gets a vaccination? 844-500-4242. Someone wants to name the show Florida Vice, as Miami Vice. Pompano Beach Vice. That doesn't quite make it though. Too many syllables. Too much of a mouthful. We'll come up with some other ones. From Black Mass to Wrinkly in Florida. Yeah, Florida. A lot of these guys are down here in Florida, or were down here in Florida. John, where we're broadcasting from now, this is where Johnny Matarano was on the lam. This is where they caught him in 1995, Boca Raton. And Frank Salemi, Cadillac Frank, he was arrested in West Palm Beach, County, all the way. I'm Howie Carr.
Several years ago, we here at Matthews Brothers launched a website called MatthewsBrothers.com. We did this for a couple of reasons. First, it's our name, and it seemed to make sense that we name it after ourselves. Secondly, we thought it would be a useful place to post interesting things about our wicked awesome windows and doors. Shortly after we launched it, this fella, who insists on calling himself the webmaster, told us that he could put anything we wanted to on our website. Since we were getting kind of tired of seeing his vacation photos there, we took him up on his offer. Today, there's so much fun stuff to do on our website. It's like going to a theme park, but without the lines.
Hey, Howie.
Kukla, Fran, and Conley.
Howie.
Oh, yes.
How about instead of Jake and the Fat Man, Zip and the Tin Man?
Someone says Kukla, Fran, and Conley.
What's that a reference to?
Kukla, Fran, and Ollie. That was a puppet show back in the day.
Andrea Ocasio-Cortez.
There's a lot of restaurants that are feeling the pain of racism, where people are literally not patroning Chinese restaurants. They're not patroning Asian restaurants because of just straight up racism around the coronavirus. So,
only in America does when the president tweets about liberation, does he mean go back to work? When we, have this discussion about going back or reopening, I think a lot of people should just say, no, we're not going back to that.
I know it sounds banal.
Do we know how long puppies are allowed to stay with their mothers after a dog has given birth?
I don't.
8 weeks. So the market has decided that women and people who give birth deserve less time with their children than a dog.
So the whole premise of the Green New Deal is that we're screwed.
Everyone knows I love coffee, and I'm not giving it up. I know that it would keep me up from time to time, but no longer with Balance 7. Balance 7 is a clear mineral liquid that you take 3 times a day to break down the acid in your body. When it does this, you'll feel better, and I sleep better. Often I'm asked to try products, and I can be very skeptical on their claims. But with Balance 7, it was all 100% true. With Balance 7, I didn't feel my energy starting to flag as the day wore on, because by sleeping better at night, it also gave me mental clarity during the day. Balance 7 is a highly alkalizing concentrate. That means it reduces the acids that have built up in your body. Balance 7 is also known for reducing acid reflux and heartburn, as it did for the mailroom manager. Balance 7 is made of safe, all-natural ingredients. If you suffer from heartburn, acid reflux, or sleep issues, you should give Balance 7 a try. Order the 8-ounce 12-pack supply at balance7.com. Put in code word Howie. You will save $10, and you'll also get free shipping. Balance7.com.
We are now effective today requiring all counties to close their indoor activities, their indoor operations in the following sectors: restaurants, wineries, tasting rooms. A few weeks ago, I was asked to go to a friend's 50th birthday. I made a bad mistake. Instead of sitting down, I should have stood up.
Stay at home as much as possible. Put those social gatherings on hold, including extra care for Thanksgiving.
Denver's mayor told you to stay home for Thanksgiving, then he got on a flight to go see family out of state.
Some people calling Supervisor Kuehl a hypocrite. Now, on November 24th, she voted to ban outdoor dining, and on the very same day, she was spotted eating out.
I take responsibility for trusting the word of a neighborhood salon that I've been to over the years. As it turns out, it was a setup. So I take responsibility for falling for a setup. This salon owes me an apology. What they do.
Here's 1 minute of President Eric Swalwell.
Chris, so far, the evidence is uncontradicted that the president used taxpayer dollars to ask the Ukrainians to help him cheat an election.
But I will always be real with you. I will be bold without the bold. Welcome to my fellow candidates, whom I consider we are all a part of being the Avengers. The Republicans in 2016, that was the Hunger Games.
And, you know, it's said often that history doesn't repeat itself, it rhymes. And we heard a lot of rhymes yesterday.
My wife, Brittany, also wants you to know we've got two beautiful children, Nelson and Cricket. But the decision to have children was her choice.
I'm the only candidate calling for a ban and buyback on every single assault weapon. Again, we have to have an ankle monitor on this president. This is the worst possible time for a serial offender like him to be running around unsupervised.
Live from the Matthews Brothers Studios.
844-500-4242. That is the toll-free number of the Howie Carr Show. Someone came up with the golden ghouls. I like that better than the golden guys. It's better.
Well, pardon me.
No, this is a work in progress. It's just that we're refining it as we go along here.
It's the editing process.
Yeah, exactly. The nearly departed. 2 men and a pension. There are all kinds of things. We can have a lot of fun with this. Right now, though, it is time for Police Blotter Facts Friday.
Whenever the laws of any state are broken, a duly authorized organization swings into action.
You know what time it is? It's Friday evening. That means it's time for Police Blotter Facts Friday. All week long, we ask you to send in your funny stories or items from the local police column. Some papers call it the police log. Others call it the police blotter. Many papers run it, or it can be a standalone story about the police. You could see it on the internet as well now, since fewer and fewer people actually read print dead tree newspapers. You could also, you can send them to grace@howiecarrshow.com, grace@howiecarrshow.com, or you can still use our fax machine, 857. Excuse me, Grace. Did you sneeze?
Sorry, I should have.
Bless you.
I should have hit the mute button, but I had to use my arm to cover my face.
I thought you were sneezing because we were still mentioning the fax machine. 857-284-8864. 857-284-8864 if you want to fax it in. At this time, every Friday evening, Grace and I read the best entries of the week in our humble opinions, and we give a nice prize to the two top entries of the week. What do they get this week, Grace?
They'll get a copy of What Really Happened. Howie, I have so many to get through today. I don't know what is in the water lately, but I'm going to dive right into the runners-up. They do not win a prize. Starting with, wanted man hands himself into police to get peace and quiet and says he would rather go to prison than spend more time with the people he's living with in lockdown.
That's why he needed to buy Raycons.
A wanted man handed himself into police rather than spend any more time in lockdown with the people he lives with, police said. He said he wanted peace and quiet And then he just turned himself in. They didn't give away the man's name, but they just said that.
Where was this?
This was in Britain.
In Britain. It's too bad that Sergeant Erickson doesn't have that same attitude. He'd be making much better use of his days in the Rockingham County House of Correction, wouldn't he?
Yeah, well, all I can think of is Shawshank. Remember the old guy in Shawshank? He doesn't want to leave the prison. So sad. Saddest part of the movie. Man accused of breaking into Maine home and taking a bath. This is Casco, Maine.
Okay.
A couple from Casco say a man who broke into their home on Monday made himself comfortable and even took a bath. The couple arrived home from a weekend away and found a strange car in their garage. He went right into the garage. He
had a car with him? Usually people who break into a house to take a bath come on foot.
34-year-old Sean Schoonmaker.
Thank God I was afraid it was one of my relatives.
Of Norway was found inside. He took a candle-lit bath in their walk-in tub, ate their food, and rearranged items in their home.
Is there Norway, Maine, or is this?
No, there is a Norway, Maine.
Okay, that's what I thought.
It's between Poland and China, Maine.
Right, next to Paris.
Right.
I mean, a candlelit bath and ate their food and rearranged items in their home. He seems like a nice guest. Kind of a refined guest, I would say.
Did he partake of an alcoholic? Did he partake of an alcoholic beverage or two?
It does not say. It only says ate their food, so I don't know. 2 Florida women dressed up as grannies to get COVID vaccine.
Were these were men? I thought these were men.
No,
they were women.
I thought that too, Howie, but you gave me fake news. This grand scheme didn't get very far. 2 Florida women dressed up as grannies in an attempt to get vaccinated against COVID-19.
This was in Orlando, correct?
Yes, and I hate
maybe at least they didn't dress up as Goofy and Mickey Mouse.
I hate to be sexist here, Howie, but if it had been men dressing up as grannies, this would have been a winner. But because it's women dressing up as older women, it loses the Tootsie element. You know what I mean?
If it had been men dressing up as women, they would have had to give them the vaccine, or they would have been accused, the clinic or whoever would have been accused of being transphobes, right?
That's very true. Bears are released into the wild and immediately turn on their rescuers and crowd of spectators. So normally when I see these police blotters, whether it's like the Daily Mail or the New York Post, I don't really watch the videos that go with it because sometimes it's a lot of junk on there. But with this one, I really wanted to see it. I wanted to see the bears turn on these people and see what happened.
Where did this happen?
Kurdistan, northern Iraq.
Don't they have enough trouble in Kurdistan with ISIS and Al Qaeda and all those people? They're releasing bears into the wild?
Well, here's what happened. 6 Syrian brown bears were saved from captivity in people's homes. They were freed during a wildlife conservation project in Kurdistan, but moments after the cages were opened.
Wait, they had these people in Syria? Syria's got a lot of problems too.
No, Howie, they're Syrian brown bears.
Well, where were they? Where were they being held captive?
In Kurdistan.
Okay.
But moments after the cages were open, and they were open kind of like when the horses, when they let the horses out to race, they like open it like
a racetrack race is what you mean.
Yeah, but I just mean like they were caged in and they were like, go. And they were hoping they'd go forward. But the bears were very intrigued by what was happening. So they kind of crawled out step by step. They got down the ladder thing. And then they kind of just looked at the people. And all of a sudden, moments after the cages were open, the raging bears charged towards the crowds of onlookers and journalists as the ceremony descended into chaos. It really did descend into chaos, but it was weird because a lot of the people didn't seem that scared. They were running, but they were kind of laughing and they were all recording it. It's a pretty good video if you guys want to check it out. I'm not going to lie. Drunk woman.
Wait, Grace, though. What were the bears' names?
There were 6 of them. Yogi, Winnie, Boris, Ted, Barnstable, and Bobo.
Bobo.
That's
a good name for a bear.
Thanks.
Barnstable, not so good.
I thought Barnstable was good. There's a character named Barnstable the bear. Drunk woman gets naked and steals clothes in Arizona. Beware of the naked. A California woman is facing several charges. Her name is 53-year-old Melissa Don Hahn. She ran up an $154 tab at the Mecca Bar and Grill, tried to pay with a credit card, but it was declined. She got angry at the staff and customers, swearing at them and spitting on a man. She left the store and went into the Cactus Flower. That's where she got completely naked.
Wait. What is the cactus? She was at this place called the Mecca Bar, and then she went to what's the Cactus Flower?
It's a clothing store.
Oh, okay.
That's when she got completely derobed and
disrobed.
Disrobed.
What was this woman's name?
I like derobed better. Her name is Melissa Don Hahn.
And how old?
54.
I'm not looking that up.
Actually, 53. That's where she got completely naked and got clothes from the store. Her credit card was declined again, and she got mad, knocking things over and throwing a wine glass. Hahn left without paying.
She brought a wine glass from the Mecca Bar into the Cactus Flower.
Yeah, and this is also crazy. The items at the Cactus Flower cost $740, but police were called, and when they found her at a nearby bar, she was wearing a Mecca Bar t-shirt and a bracelet that were stolen. So she must have also taken a t-shirt from the bar.
Was she wearing anything other? Was she wearing anything other than the t-shirt?
That's a good question, because I've said this before on the show, but there's nothing scarier than someone in just a t-shirt. Florida man caught.
Just ask Michelle Cassone, Patches Kennedy's date, that wonderful night where they all left the O Bar together in Palm Beach.
Well, just ask that lady who said that wasn't Ted Kennedy wandering around.
No, that's what I mean. That's Michelle Cassone.
Oh, I'm mixing them up. Florida man caught masturbating in Walmart parking lot told cops he was lonely. Kyle Weiss was arrested for pleasuring himself in a car in a Walmart parking lot. Thank you to McKay for sending me this story.
If he was lonely, why did he have to go to the parking lot?
What do you mean?
He said why couldn't he have been lonely in his house or his apartment?
Well, maybe the parking lot, maybe the lighting or something. I don't know. Maybe he liked the atmosphere. This happened in Vero Beach.
The atmosphere of a Walmart parking lot in Vero Beach.
Yes, the drivers.
You can be in a sea of vehicles or people and still feel lonely.
Yes, a shopper noticed the suspect's self-love session inside a Kia parked outside the store. Is that the one with the hamsters in it? Those commercials, the Kia commercials. The Walmart man had the driver's side.
He's not Walmart
down.
man. He's Florida man.
The Florida man.
Why? What do you have against Walmart?
That's what they call him something on here, but I'm not sure if I'm allowed to say it, so I'm not going to read it. Was performing the highly visible lewd act in broad daylight. They found 26-year-old Kyle Weiss in the car. He had, you know what?
He was charged with impersonating a Massachusetts state police officer at a country music concert in Foxborough, Massachusetts.
Howie, let's just say he was inciting an insurrection. And he told police he was at Walmart because he's an Uber Eats driver, but choked under further questioning. And then he told him that he was lonely because his ex-girlfriend's in Colorado.
I don't think choked was an appropriate word for a family show.
I'm sorry. I'm just reading from the story, guys.
Who wrote that? Whoever wrote that reporter should be disciplined.
So I think it's from The Smoking Gun. That's a pretty good website for these. Guys, Police Blotter Facts Friday is brought to you by Piantadosi Baking Company, celebrating over 100 years of baking excellence since 1916. Howie, I still have a huge stack to get through, so I'm going to end it here so we have more time on the other side.
Okay. My friends at Eden Pure have done it again. You can get the Thunderstorm air purifier at the lowest price offered to my listeners. With code word Howie, the Thunderstorm is available for under $90 and shipping is free. This New Year's sale is for 1 week only and while supplies last. The Thunderstorm is a small device you can hold in your hand and plug into the wall to purify the air from any odor. This could be pet odor, kitchen smells, tobacco, or that damp smell lingering in your basement. No filters are needed. I've seen comparable units that retail for more than $600 in doctor's offices. I always ask myself, why didn't they just order the Thunderstorm? The Thunderstorm.
Howie, I really like the Thunderstorm now because we cook a lot of steak at my house. And
yes.
at first you love the smell because it smells so delicious. But after like 20 minutes, you're like, ugh, I just want the smell out of the house. And it's hard to get it out. But you turn on the Thunderstorm in your kitchen and it's out within minutes. And it smells fresh and clean. and no more odor.
I'm going to have to take this with me because we're going to be cooking some Omaha steaks this weekend.
Ooh,
in our apartment. I'm going to take this thunderstorm home with me. Even I think we've got one at the condo anyway, but that's good. All right. Take advantage of this 1 week only sale and experience for yourself what all the listeners are raving about. Go to EdenPure.com and put in code word Howie. That's EdenPure.com, code word Howie. Shipping is free. I'm Howie Carr.
He's making talk radio great again. He's Howie Carr.
We are now effective today requiring all counties to close their indoor activities, their indoor operations in the following sectors: restaurants, wineries, tasting rooms. A few weeks ago, I was asked to go to a friend's 50th birthday. I made a bad mistake. Instead of sitting down, I should have stood up.
Stay at home as much as possible. Put those social gatherings on hold, including extra care for Thanksgiving.
Denver's mayor told you to stay home for Thanksgiving, then he got on a flight to go see family out of state.
Some people calling Supervisor Kuehl a hypocrite. Now, on November 24th, she voted to ban outdoor dining, and on the very same day, she was spotted eating out.
I take responsibility for trusting the word of a neighborhood salon that I've been to over the years. As it turns out, it was a setup. So I take responsibility for falling for a setup. This salon owes me an apology. What they do.
Now's the perfect time to get a pair of premium wireless earbuds, and Raycon is the way to go. Raycon start at about half the price of other premium brands on the market, and they sound just as amazing. And Raycon's everyday E25 earbuds are their best model yet. You get 6 hours of playtime, seamless Bluetooth pairing, more bass, and a more compact design that gives you a comfortable, noise-isolating fit. Perfect for conference calls, video chats, or binging podcasts. Raycon was founded by Ray J, and celebrities like Cardi B and J.R. Smith have already given Raycons their seal of approval. I love my Raycons, and Grace loves hers, too.
Howie, I love my Raycons. Best birthday gift ever.
I listen to much better music than she does, though.
Hey, that's not true.
Now it's your turn to see what the hype is all about. Go to buyraycon.com/Howie. That's buyraycon.com/Howie. Buyraycon.com/Howie. And now, a minute of wisdom from Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez.
Millennials and people and Gen Z and all these folks that come after us are looking up, and we're like, the world is going to end in 12 years if we don't address climate change. And your biggest issue is how are we going to pay for it? And this is the war. This is our World War II. I think that there's a lot of people more concerned about being precisely, factually, and semantically correct than about being morally right.
But being factually correct is important.
It's absolutely important.
And if we work our butts off to make sure that we take back all three chambers of Congress, all three chambers of government, the presidency, the Senate, and the House in 2020, we can't start working in 2020.
Every time you turn around, expect to see me. There's one time you'll turn around and I'll be there.
The Howie Carr Show.
Grace, I was thinking about ordering Uber Eats tonight. I'm reconsidering.
I don't blame you. Guys, I just want to give a quick update. There are 2 rooms that are available at the Fallsby Inn. I'm heading down there this weekend. I'm so excited. I should say up there. So everyone should definitely check them out. There's 2 rooms. One's a queen bed. One's a king bed. Call 603-927-4221 if you want to get them. 2 people just had to cancel because of the weather, so those opened up. So you might be lucky if you call now. Florida man burglarized nearly a dozen homes during funerals using public obituaries. This is a really sick story. Again, thank you, McKay.
This is not a unique story, though. I mean, the fact is that there probably been less of these since people stopped reading newspapers so much. Because you're less inclined, I think, to go to the obit page on a newspaper website. But this guy's old school. He still buys the paper every morning before he decides who he's going to burglarize.
Hey, if it works, it works. I mean, why would he change it up? Really sick, though. I mean, a man in Central Florida was arrested Monday after allegedly carrying out at least 10 burglaries over the past 5 months in broad daylight, targeting houses while funeral ceremonies were taking place. Because I have other ones to get to, I'm not going to spend too much time on it. But like Howie said, nothing new. Florida man stole one girlfriend's ring to propose to the other girlfriend. Crazy story. Joseph Davis used the alias Joe Brown with one girlfriend and Marcus Brown with the other. A Florida man is on
I know the
run.
Pattern.
Yeah.
Usually you keep the same first name rather than the same last name.
Not very creative. He stole one of his girlfriend's old engagement rings and he used it to propose to his other girlfriend. And the two girlfriends, in a movie-like type of plot, they figured it out and they ganged up together and they tried to take him down.
Sleepless in Sarasota.
Okay, and now for our two winners. First up, Polk County teacher faces child abuse charges after fighting students outside of a McDonald's. This is Bartow, Florida.
What was the woman's name, Grace?
The woman's name was Liquindella Clark.
Liquindella?
Liquindella.
And what was her last name?
Clark.
Liquindella Clark. Okay.
A group of students went to a McDonald's after a basketball game, and I guess her child, she's a teacher at the school, but her child was involved in the fight, and she waited in the parking lot until the group of kids exited the McDonald's, at which point a physical fight ensued between Clark and the group of kids. Police said Clark struck one kid in the face, removed her wig, and struck a second student in the head area.
Removed her wig. That's a nice touch.
Very detailed in Florida.
I think, Grace, I may have sent that one. And, there's another nice touch in that one. Did you look at the mugshot?
Yeah, it's from 2013.
Right. So the teacher at the school has a leftover mugshot from 2013.
Crazy. And actually, this is not a winner, but because I have a little bit of extra time here, Plymouth man arrested for DWI after driving wrong way both ways on I-93. I feel bad. We haven't had any, local stories. A Plymouth man is facing a drunken driving charge after state police say he drove the wrong way in both directions on Interstate 93. Christopher Power was charged with driving while intoxicated.
Is this in New Hampshire or Massachusetts?
That's got to be New Hampshire.
Yeah, I think it is New Hampshire.
Sorry, I saw
That's close enough. That's local. Yeah.
All right, and now for
I like the way he turns around, but he's still going the wrong way.
I know, crazy. And for our final winner, woman attacks sister with EpiPen. Can you guess what state this is in? If you had to take a wild guess, Howie.
The Sunshine State?
Yeah. A Florida woman who repeatedly stabbed her sister with an EpiPen told cops that she was allergic to drugs.
Maybe the sisters could double date with Zip Connolly and Franny Joyce this weekend.
Well, they're 62 and 64, so
they're about the right age, yeah.
Yeah. She told the cops she was allergic to drunks and was simply trying to sober up the victim. Joanna Zielinski and her sister Laura were drinking last night in their Naples home when Laura went to sleep on the couch.
That's a long way from Pompano Beach.
Hey, but you'll drive.
Yeah, I mean, once just put a couple of cases in the back of the car and just drive over.
Joanna stayed up and consumed more alcoholic beverages and narcotics. At some point, Joanna went crazy and attacked Laura with an EpiPen, stabbing her with it multiple times. When questioned, Joanna said, "I'm allergic to drugs."
Who are we to say she's crazy? Why are the cops in Naples being so judgmental?
She really liked this line, though. She said, "I'm allergic to drunks, so I injected her with the EpiPen so she wouldn't be a drunk anymore. What's the big deal?" Or she wouldn't be drunk anymore. EMS workers conducted a medical evaluation of Laura since she was worried about the implications of being injected with EpiPen when she had no allergies and has no medical use for the device. They said that no medication was injected into Laura due to the way her sister was holding the EpiPen while attacking. She did have a large welt on her right thigh. Thank you, Pantadosi Bacon Company, for sponsoring this segment. And guys, make sure you check out the Fallensby Inn if you still haven't gotten your room for this weekend.
Thank you, Grace. Have a good time at the Fallensby Inn in Sutton, New Hampshire. I'm Howie Carr. We're all looking for ways to save money, right? How'd you like to keep an extra $961 a year in your pocket? That's how much Gabby customers save per year on average on car and home insurance. This is Taylor, will you check? Someone said the Follinsby Inn is all booked up. Takes the pain out of doing it by
Oh, look.
Thanks. To see quotes for the exact same coverage you currently have. And as I mentioned, Gabby customers save $961 per year on average. I bet that would be nice to have in your pocket every year, and they'll never sell your info. So no annoying spam or robocalls. You're probably overpaying on car and home insurance now. See how much Gabby can save you. It's totally free to check, and there is no obligation. Go to Gabby.com/Howie. That's GABI.com/Howie. GABI.com/Howie.
Looks like there's one room left. Doth protest too much.
If you take a test where you're taking cocaine or not, what do you think, huh? Are you a junkie?
What do you the first mainstream African American who is articulate and bright and clean?
And Madam President, we have predators on our streets.
That kid wearing a hoodie may very well be the next poet laureate and not a gangbanger.
They are beyond the pale, many of those people.
God love you. You've been here all day. My Lord, you may feel like you're being incarcerated.
We have no choice but to take them out of society.
Poor kids are just as bright and just as talented as white kids.
I think the two-party system is good for the South and good for the Negro.
They're going to put you all back in chains. Unlike the African-American community, with notable exceptions, the Latino community is an incredibly diverse community with incredibly different attitudes about different things. If you have a problem figuring out whether you're for me or Trump, and you ain't black. Hello, all the participants in tonight's event. We can overcome the deadly virus. We can reward work. We will reclaim our credibility. The pandemic, we need all our strength to persevere. Rural versus urban. Rural versus urban. America built of decency. I took it to instill public confidence in the vaccine. President-elect Harris took hers today for the same reason. Everybody is entitled to be treated with decency. All my colleagues I serve with in the House and the Senate up here. James Joyce was said to have told a friend, I understand they worry about their jobs. I understand, like my dad, they lay at bed staring at the ceiling. Yes. God love you, man. You're a one-horse pony. Come on, give me a break, man.
Listening to the Howie Carr Show.
Hair loss is not one of life's more enjoyable experiences. If you're looking to fill in your hairline or reverse years of hair loss, DiStefano Hair Restoration will create a result that will be a transformative experience. The result of my IGT procedure was quite remarkable. I now have fuller, thicker hair, so I can even wear it a bit longer. There are a few major decisions I've made in my life that I wish I did sooner. My hair restoration is number one. It was far one of the best moves I've ever made. My hair looks awesome, and the confidence from having a full head of hair again has left me feeling great. I used to look in the mirror and dreaded seeing my ever-increasing bald spot. Now when I look in the mirror, I see the new me with a full head of thick hair. For information on how to make the same choice I did, go to hairman.com/Howie. What are you waiting for? More hair to fall out? Get the hair you've always wanted. Hairman.com/Howie.
He's the gaff that keeps on giving. Here's 1 minute of former Vice President Joe Biden.
Your teachers who touch them, figuratively speaking, well, I hope you touch them and tell them how much you love them too. But my point is, when you touch their hearts, I get in trouble with some things I say, but I want to tell you, just be straight up. If I'm your president, with me, it starts here in my gut. Goes to my heart, and then I articulate it. And by the way, I sit on the stand, and it get hot. I got hairy legs that turn, that that turn blonde in the sun. And the kids used to come up and reach in the pool and rub my leg down so it was straight, and then watch the hair come back up again. 1.2 billion. So you go ahead and you stack spaghetti sauce at a store in a supermarket. You control the guy or the woman who brings out the carts on a forklift. So I learned about roaches. I learned about kids jumping on my lap, and I've loved kids jumping on my lap.
President Trump is clearly ethically unfit and intellectually unprepared to be the president of the United States. And I support Chairman Woman. In the coming weeks, the House will hold hearings of Congresswoman Harris, Senator Harris. He's our president, and I would rather he not be taking something that has not been approved, especially in his age group and in his, shall we say, weight group, what is morbidly obese, they say. So completely inappropriate in so many ways that it's almost a given. It's like a child who comes in with mud on their pants or something. That's the way it is. They're outside playing. That's what it. He comes in with doggy do on his shoes, and everybody who works with him has that on their shoes too. But I only will do that if you tell me that this legislation is worthy of George Kirby's name. This moment of national anguish.
You're listening to the Howie Carr Show.
Cory Booker said it best.
There are definitely moments where you listen to Joe Biden and you just wonder.
Here's stumbling and mumbling Joe Biden.
David Duke, the former leader of the KKK. The Ku Klux Klan is the Ku Klux Klan. 8 more years of Donald Trump will change America in a fundamental way. But if Donald Trump is reelected, Freudian slip, and the demagogues around the world. We also have a mechanism to control drug prices. Folks at the folks at Health and the Health Department in the United States, HHS, it would put 720 million women back in the workforce. I never ever thought that I'd see what I saw in Charlotte.
Would you or would you not rejoin the TPP? Yes or no?
I would not rejoin the TTP. Well, they're going out and getting G5 and going to dominate. I mean, what are we doing? Bills that the future president here, that the senator is talking about.
You've been hearing me talk about Super Beets for a while now, and I'm sure some of you are still thinking, why Super Beets? You could take it from me. The benefits of Super Beets are incredible. I take them twice a day, once in the morning when I get up, even before I have my first cup of coffee, and the other time in the afternoon, right before the show. It gives me a burst of energy. It's great for my blood pressure. It's good for circulation. It just makes you feel better. If that doesn't convince you, we can talk about the science behind Super Beets. Beets have nitrates. Nitrates support better blood flow, and better blood flow equals better energy and efficiency throughout the body, and even supports healthy blood pressure. But Super Beets does so much more than eating regular beets and is unparalleled compared to other beet powders. Just 1 scoop of Super Beets has the nitric oxide equivalent of 3 whole beets. Go to superbeetsradio.com/Howie and try out Super Beets yourself. www.superbeetsradio.com/Howie. www.superbeetsradio.com/Howie.
Watch out, Joe Biden. You might have to share some of the spotlight because your running mate, Senator Kamala Harris, is certainly grabbing some attention for her own gaffes.
She was part of our culture. Yes, we wear those notorious B.I.G. t-shirts with a lot of pride.
Have a good weekend.
Best rapper alive, Tupac. You say he lives on. Not a lie. I know. I keep doing that. A Harris administration together with Joe Biden as the president of the United States. The Biden-Harris administration.
Yeah, it looks like they're all booked up.
They're all booked up? Okay.
We have...
Did you see the Limerick guy said that the good song for the theme song would be Randy Travis, Digging Up Bones? Can you see if that's worth playing?
Sure.
Strap yourself in. It's time for the Howie Carr Show.
How much time do we still have left to avert climate catastrophe?
Well, the scientists told us 3 years ago we had 12 years to avert the worst consequences of climate crisis. We are now 3 years gone, so we have 9 years left.
We're all gonna die!
I can't believe this is happening.
See, this is the problem with where we are, is that he's not telling the truth. He knows he's not. Of course, he knows he's not telling the truth, but he knows you know.
We've got Alicia from the 110 Grill on for the second.
Oh, that's right. Okay.
Hughes Brothers Studios.
This you're not going to believe.
They want to pick on us because they want their babysitters back.
My hair's on fire about the whole thing.
We have the meeting open to the public right now. Nuh-uh.
I'm afraid so, yes.
Rump swabs, hacks, and moonbats beware. It's Howie Carr.
Grace is heading off to the Folensby Inn for her weekend with the listeners, and she said there might be some vacancies. They're sold out, though. However, so Folensby Inn in Sutton, New Hampshire is sold out. It's a great place, but you can't get there this weekend with Grace. However, next week, next Friday night, Grace will be having dinner with two lucky listeners at the 110 Grill in Plymouth, Massachusetts on Commerce Way. And it's not too late to get into that contest. And with us on the line is Alicia from the 110 Grill, and she can tell you how you can win a dinner next Friday night, a week from tonight, with Grace at the 110 Grill. Thanks for being with us, Alicia.
Thanks for having me. Everyone can just go to the 110 Grill in Plymouth, right on Commerce Way near Colony Place, and come dine, have a great meal. Let your server know that you'd like to enter into the contest. They'll have you fill out a sign-up form, and then we'll choose a winner next week. And
they get a book. They get one of my books, right? Just by signing up.
Yeah. Yep.
Right. Plug Uglies.
Just get a free book as well.
Yeah, Plug Uglies. And again, if you people have asked, if I can't get to the 110 Grill, how do I get Plug Uglies? Just go to howiecarrshow.com and it's available in the store. Just go to select all and it's there. But the easiest way to do it is you get a nice meal at the 110 Grill, and you get a $19.99 book, which is Plug Uglies, and with a scrapbook of Boston organized crime, and you get a chance to maybe have dinner with Grace. So you've had a lot of entries, I guess, Alicia, right?
Yeah, we've gotten quite a few so far. So 1 week left, great weekend to go out and enjoy some delicious food, pulled pork, mac and cheese, or sesame ginger salmon, have a nice cocktail, and enter to win.
Sounds really good. So what's the best selling entree right now at the 110 Grill?
I would say our steak tips are definitely one of our number one sellers, as well as the pulled pork mac and cheese, the chicken caprese. Those are some of our top few.
Taylor's a big fan. He's taken some time off, but he always likes to schedule his time off so that he gets the 110 Grill on Friday afternoon. Right, Taylor?
Oh, so good. 110 Grill has a great spread whenever they come in here. Just some of the pulled pork mac and cheese is terrific, but everything is awesome.
All right.
Yeah.
So they can come in. You guys are open. What they can enter the contest whenever they come in, any time of the day or night, right?
Yep, anytime. We're open from 11:30 until 9 tonight and tomorrow as well, and then 11:30 to 8 on Sunday, and 11:30 to 8 all week. So visit us anytime.
Excellent. So again, if you want to have dinner, if you want to win a chance to have dinner with Grace a week from tonight at the 110 Grill in Plymouth on Commerce Way, get down there this weekend or get that next week. It's the contest goes through next Thursday, right, Alicia?
Yes, next Thursday.
Next Thursday, and so get down there and have a meal. Just ask the waitress or the waiter to bring you a entry form, and with the entry form, you'll get a copy of Plug Uglies, a scrapbook of Boston organized crime, which I think is a pretty enjoyable book. It's like a coffee table book, smaller, but it's a coffee table book. A lot of pictures, a lot of old police reports. Pretty interesting reading if you're from Boston or you're interested in the history of crime in Boston. Alicia, thanks for being with us, and we appreciate you being on with us. And thanks for setting Grace up. She loves the 110 Grill. We go to the 110 Grill in Wayland when we're back there. It's a great chain of restaurants, all of them. But you got to go to the one in Plymouth to enter the contest. Thank you very much for being with us, Alicia. 844-500-4242. And we're going to take some calls this hour. I must say that for a Friday afternoon, the amount of great sound is just really, really above average today. So much good sound. from all over the place, especially from Joe Biden. He gave 2 speeches. It was a daily double of Joe Biden today. But Andrew Cuomo really outdid himself. Here's the headline in the New York Post. And the New York Post is really hitting the guy with both barrels now. They're going after him so hard. Of course, they kind of have the lane to themselves because the New York Times is in the satchel, and so is the New York Daily News. But the headline on his press conference this afternoon: Cuomo takes gaslighting to shocking extremes. Tell us how you really feel, New York Post, about what he did. So, Taylor, what do we have here from Governor Cuomo?
We've got cuts. I didn't pull these. I was working on Grace's show earlier today. So what's on them? Mm-hmm. That's what you get.
The first one I want to say, they always talk about it. I didn't want to run for office. I was urged to run. I wanted to give something back. And, whenever you hear someone say something like that, you're dealing with somebody who's not really someone you would want to trust with anything. But here's Cuomo today. Cut 20.
I don't really care what people say about me. I get politics. I agreed to this nasty business because I believe I can do good things.
Whenever anybody says they don't care about what people say about them, again, assume the opposite, right? And he wanted to do good things, like supposedly when his father was running for governor of New York in the primary against Ed Koch, the mayor of New York, a confirmed bachelor from Greenwich Village. Andrew was the one who supposedly came up with the slogan for the campaign: "Vote for Cuomo," not the rhymes with Cuomo. Those are some of the good things, I guess, that he wanted to do in politics. Cut 21.
I'm not going to let New Yorkers be lied to. I'm not going to let you hurt New Yorkers by lying about what happened surrounding the death of a loved one.
Again, projection, anyone here? He's the one who sent back all the COVID-19 patients into the nursing homes, despite the pleas of the nursing home administrators and the physicians saying that this is going to kill lots of people. And it did. It killed thousands of people. And now he's trying to blame someone else for what he did. Cut 22.
They were told and they knew, and we gave DOJ precedence. Yes, because that's how it works. Federal DOJ gets precedence. Well, some were offended that they weren't given precedence. I understand they are offended. DOJ takes precedence.
I'm not even sure I understand what the hell he's talking about there. I don't know what that means. His aide said last week that they decided to give out the wrong numbers and obstruct justice. She didn't say obstruct justice, but that's what it was, because they were worried about a DOJ investigation. Now he's saying they were bending over backwards to give the feds the numbers, but they were, by his own top aide's admission, they were lying. Not just to the Republican Justice Department, but to the Democrat-controlled Assembly and State Senate in Albany. Cut 23.
You suggested to the people of the state of New York that they're not getting the best guidance? That's a lie. And you do it with no information, and you do it with no credential, and you do it with partisan politics.
These were the people who were telling him he was the greatest governor of all time. Now he's accusing them of lying and not knowing what the hell they're talking about. And here he's using the word nasty again. I mean, could there be a nastier guy than Andrew Cuomo? But he's going to, again, use the word nasty here to describe politics. Cut 24.
I understand politics is a nasty business in this environment. I understand people lie. I get it. I live it every day. But this is different. This was causing pain to families who lost a loved one.
I understand people lie. I live it every day. Did he mean to say I lie it every day? Okay, here's the L word yet again. He seems to be relying on two words, nasty and lie. Cut 25.
It is a lie to say any numbers were inaccurate. That is a lie. Total deaths were always reported to nursing homes and hospitals.
See, though, what he was saying is if somebody was on the verge of death, they would get them out of the nursing home and into the hospital, and then they would say they died in a hospital rather than a nursing home. And the reality, as the far left Attorney General of New York said, Letitia James, 40% underreporting of deaths in nursing homes by his lies, to use his own words, his lies. We'll play some more of these cuts. We'll take some calls on this. And Charlie Parker, 844-500-4242, 844-500-4242. Hit refresh on your dinner routine with HelloFresh. Right now, you can take advantage of a new limited time offer and see why HelloFresh is America's #1 meal kit. With all this snow and all this sleet and this bad driving, price of gas going up, having to put on masks to go into a supermarket, having to worry about Karens yelling at you for whatever. Do you really want to keep going back to the supermarkets, or do you want to order out with HelloFresh? Get the meals delivered right to your door, and they're different meals. You're going to be treated to all kinds of different foods that you normally don't eat.
Howie, we get so spoiled. We just had the folks from 110 Grill on talking about their food. Aviva Trattoria comes in every other week. We get really spoiled around here with great food. So when we go home and we make our own dinners of our own, resources, it's kind of stale. But HelloFresh does allow you to bring in these restaurant quality meals into your own kitchen, and you prepare them.
Yeah. And it's you get used to eating boring food, and this is a way to break up the routine. HelloFresh gives you simple recipes and fresh ingredients, sourced directly from growers and delivered to your door contact-free. With more than 25 weekly recipes, there's something for everyone to enjoy, including family-friendly, vegetarian, and low-calorie options. Say goodbye to never-ending meal planning and prepping, and hello to new 10 to 20-minute meals, low prep recipes, quick breakfasts and lunches. HelloFresh recipe cards are easy to follow with simple steps and pictures so that you can get meals on the table in less than a half an hour. Plus, by skipping the grocery store, you can save up to 40% on groceries, cut food waste by 25%, and stop overbuying and stop having to deal with Charlie Parker's insane lockdown rules. Go to HelloFresh.com and use code Howie10 for 10 free meals, including free shipping for a limited time only. Just go to HelloFresh.com and use code Howie10 for 10 free meals. HelloFresh.com. I'm Howie Carr.
You're listening to...
So how's that Randy Travis song?
Radio Network.
It's all right. Digging Up Bones. That's the name of the song. The chorus goes, I'm digging up bones, exhuming things that better left alone.
Oh, I think we'll have to play a little bit of that, right?
All right. Yep.
Yeah.
They're hypocrites. They're the women of the View.
Bernie was so menschy in that moment, like a real guy. I actually am aroused by him.
Timothy McVeigh was a Christian. Just saying.
Hitler was a Christian.
Well, he didn't like the Catholics.
Trump needs to be medicated and hospitalized at this point, or he is going to just kill all of us.
I mean, do we have to wait till the hammer and sickle is on the American flag before we stand up to this guy?
Joy, you've worn blackface.
I did not go in blackface, please.
No, she was not in blackface.
Thank you.
It was a Halloween party. I went as a beautiful African woman.
Did you have tanning lotion on?
A little, I had makeup that was a little bit darker than my skin.
I'm hoping Dr. Jill becomes a Surgeon General. She's a hell of a doctor.
Whoopi, you said that Roman Polanski, it wasn't rape.
I know it wasn't rape.
Child molest, maybe? I'm not sure.
It was something. It was something else, but I don't believe it was rape.
Hold up.
Everyone knows I love coffee, and I'm not giving it up. I know that it would keep me up from time to time, but no longer with Balance 7. Balance 7 is a clear mineral liquid that you take 3 times a day to break down the acid in your body. When it does this, you'll feel better, and I sleep better. Often I'm asked to try products, and I can be very skeptical on their claims. But with Balance 7, it was all 100% true. With Balance 7, I didn't feel my energy starting to flag as the day wore on, because by sleeping better at night, it also gave me mental clarity during the day. Balance 7 is a highly alkalizing concentrate. That means it reduces the acids that have built up in your body. Balance 7 is also known for reducing acid reflux and heartburn, as it did for the mailroom manager. Balance 7 is made of safe, all-natural ingredients. If you suffer from heartburn, acid reflux, or sleep issues, you should give Balance 7 a try. Order the 8-ounce 12-pack supply at balance7.com. Put in code word Howie. You will save $10, and you'll also get free shipping. Balance7.com.
What impact do you think Russian interference had in the election?
I think it was one of the major contributors to the outcome.
Years from the 2016 election, and Hillary Clinton still can't accept the results. Take a listen.
You know, you can run the best campaign. You can be the person who gets the nomination. You could lose.
I believe he knows he's an illegitimate president. He knows.
The one thing that Trump is fearful of when it comes to his being president is that finally we will see how illegitimate his victory actually was.
This wasn't on the level.
Flashing videos that appear and then disappear, and they're on the dark web and nobody can find them.
It's like applying for a job and getting 66 million letters of recommendation and losing to a corrupt human tornado.
So maybe there does need to be a rematch. I mean, obviously, I can beat him again.
So of course he's obsessed with me.
I can still teach you a few, kid. You're just a tin-horn thug, and you always will be. You haven't got the guts to be anything else.
The Howie Carr Show.
844-500-4242. That's the toll-free number of the Howie Carr Show. Take a screen break today with Raycon wireless earbuds. Raycons offer water and sweat-resistant construction and seamless Bluetooth pairing. And with 6 hours of playtime, you can unplug for a while. Get 15% off at buyraycon.com/Howie, buyraycon.com/Howie. Taylor, what's the poll question? What are the results thus far?
What's the worst abuse of a dog? Leaving Snowflake alone in Houston, leaving Seamus on the car roof during a road trip to Ontario, or eating a dog in Indonesia?
Eating a dog in Indonesia, as Barack Obama copped to in one of his many ghost-written autobiographies.
Just about 80% say eating a dog. Yeah, that's probably the worst one there.
All right. We had Joe Piantadosi on with us last week, and he is taking part tomorrow in a food giveaway with Ernie Bach Jr. And this is at the Kowloon. There's a touchless turkey drop, and Ernie Bach Jr. and Subaru of New England are donating 1,000 turkeys to North Shore food banks. And I'm just reading from their ad here, or their internet posting. Subaru of New England, in partnership with Kowloon, you know where Kowloon is in Saugus, that's our favorite Chinese restaurant, invites you to a touchless turkey drop. This is tomorrow from 9 a.m. to noon at the Kowloon on Route 1 North.
It's going to be a lot better than the WKRP turkey drop, right?
Yes, and not only that, but Joe Piantadosi is bringing up loaves of bread from Piantadosi.
Oh, great.
Please drive up, pop your trunk, and enjoy a complimentary turkey as part of Subaru Loves to Help, available while supplies last. So you can get a turkey, and you can get a loaf of bread from Piantadosi, and that's from Ernie Bach and Subaru of New England, and the Kowloon is helping out by donating their parking lot. So that's from 9 o'clock until...
Did Charlie Parker approve of these turkeys personally?
Maybe maybe he can get down there and check them out to make sure they're not too big. We wouldn't want him to be getting really big turkeys, would we? But anyway, see if you could, Taylor, see, I'll I'll forward that to you, and maybe you can tweet that out so people can see exactly where to go if they want to pick up a turkey. It's for the food banks, but 1,000 turkeys. They don't say, they're not going to be doing any income verifications, I don't think. All right. 844-500-4242. 508. The sanctimonious tone from Cuomo is too much, especially since he's as dirty now. And he just the dirtier we know him to be, the more sanctimonious he acts. Let's take a call or two before we play some more cuts and read the New York Post editorial. Dave, you're next with Howie Carr. Go ahead, Dave.
Hey, Howie. Long time, first time caller. Parker and just like Janet Mills, they're both a couple of turkeys. They want to destroy. It seems like they want to destroy the economy in both states.
It does.
As far as Cuomo goes, he's that guy. They do, and as far as Cuomo goes, he's that guy that you see in a bar that you just want to go up and just punch him in the face. I swear, he is. He's one of those guys, and I don't think, and I hate to say this, but I don't think he's going to be held accountable.
I hope you're wrong. I hope he is held accountable, and he's just like one of these fake tough guys, though. And he does. And the Post has a story today about the New York Times wanting to make this worse, and it's almost like Mills and Parker and Cuomo and Phil Murphy and all these blue state governors. Just they're reveling in this, but the same thing that's said about the New York Times could be said of these governors. The Times needs to make the plague seem even worse than its horrific reality to bolster its case for more lockdowns and restrictions. Especially in New York City, where the paper is editorialized, and not only on its editorial page, but in tendentious news stories, like in the Globe or the Portland Press Herald or the Bangor Daily News. Against restaurant reopenings at a scant 25% indoor capacities. We'll have more of this when we come back, and we'll take more of your calls. I'm Howie Carr. Did you already blow it on your New Year's resolution? Didn't stick to that trendy new diet plan? Stop the roller coaster and get the weight off for good. People still say to me, wow, Howie, you look really great with all that weight off. But it's a lot more than looking better. It really is about feeling better, too. For me, it's about not having to wear a CPAP mask in order to sleep through the night. I'm able to go on bike rides every day. Sometimes I go on 2 or 3. I have much lower blood pressure, a lot more energy. I still eat what I want to eat, but unlike before the sleeve, now I don't overeat. Get the weight off for good. Call Newton Wellesley Weight Loss Center. Call 617-243-3724 or go to nwh.org/weight loss. Don't procrastinate any longer. Whatever your age, whatever your gender, do it. Call 617-243-3724 or go to nwh.org/weight loss.
I want to be clear in how I characterize this. This is mostly a protest. It is not, generally speaking, unruly.
That ain't a riot, what we're seeing right now in Minneapolis. They are strictly principled anti-fascists.
No organization is perfect. There was some violence.
Any reasonable person would say we shouldn't be destroying other people's property, but these are not reasonable times.
I argue to you tonight, all punches are not equal morally.
But thank goodness for the looters, man.
And please, show me where it says that protests are supposed to be polite and peaceful.
Do not get it twisted and think that, this is something that has never happened before, and then this is so terrible, and where are we, and these savages and all of that. This is how this country was started.
People get mad and people get sick of it. People are risking COVID to explain to this country that we're fed up.
Now's the perfect time to get a pair of premium wireless earbuds, and Raycon is the way to go. Raycon start at about half the price of other premium brands on the market, and they sound just as amazing. And Raycon's everyday E25 earbuds are their best model yet. You get 6 hours of playtime, seamless Bluetooth pairing, more bass, and a more compact design that gives you a comfortable, noise-isolating fit. Perfect for conference calls, video chats, or binging podcasts. Raycon was founded by Ray J, and celebrities like Cardi B and J.R. Smith have already given Raycons their seal of approval. I love my Raycons, and Grace loves hers, too.
Howie, I love my Raycons. Best birthday gift ever.
I listen to much better music than she does, though.
Hey, that's not true.
Now it's your turn to see what the hype is all about. Go to buyraycon.com/Howie. That's buyraycon.com/Howie. Buyraycon.com/Howie.
I want to be clear in how I characterize this. This is mostly a protest. It is not generally speaking unruly.
That ain't a riot, what we're seeing right now in Minneapolis.
They are strictly principled anti-fascists.
No organization is perfect. There was some violence.
Any reasonable person would say we shouldn't be destroying other people's property, but these are not reasonable times.
I argue to you tonight, all punches are not equal morally.
But thank goodness for the looters, man.
And please, show me where it says that protests are supposed to be polite and peaceful.
Do not get it twisted and think that, oh, this is something that has never happened before, and then this is so terrible, and where are we, and these savages and all of that. This is how this country was started.
People get mad and people get sick of it. People are risking COVID to explain to this country that we're fed up.
Here's 1 minute with Governor
Charlie Parker in Massachusetts.
I'd certainly put myself on that list. I'm a basketball player. I always was. There's a lot at stake here. This is not a virus to be trifled with or disrespected. Respect the virus. I have a hard time understanding when we're going to be able to play basketball again. We can start talking about a gradual, careful, data-driven, phased reopening. Don't let a few nice days step on that. I need to talk to the Attorney General and find out what the actual parameters of the ruling are. Did this just happen? And the reason I read that story is because I'm a basketball player and I agree. I was first made aware of the discrepancy on this on the day that the registrar resigned. The vast majority, and I mean like the vast majority of the people who are part of these protests are there to make a point and to make it peacefully. That is so obvious, I'm amazed that anybody could say anything other than that. I would love to be able to open everything up tomorrow. That would be an incredibly irresponsible thing to do.
Live from the Matthews Brothers Studios.
844-500-4242. By the way, Ron DeSantis today, the governor of Florida, has ordered the flags in Florida flown at half staff for Rush Limbaugh's memory. And of course, you can imagine the outrage from the same diversity celebrating crew that was reveling in Rush's passing the other day. 844-500-4242. Let's play the last cut here from Cuomo. Remember, Cuomo has been spreading lies for months. He lied not only to the Justice Department, the feds, he lied to his own fellow Democrats in the legislature about, and there was a great editorial in a column today by Mark Thyssen in the Washington Post saying that this made it harder for the quote unquote experts who he supposedly relies on to track what response they should have because they didn't have the right numbers because he was piping everything. And this is his response to that, cut 26.
No one has a right to spread lies or misinformation that causes pain to families.
Wow. Just amazing, isn't it? The New York Post, the headline is right that they just posted a couple hours ago. Cuomo takes gaslighting to shocking extremes. Incidentally, did you hear about his brother? His brother his brother can't interview him anymore. The Smothers Brothers, new Smothers Brothers is over. He can't talk about him anymore. Cuomo, as they say, for Chris Cuomo, Fredo. But he still has his Twitter account. And yesterday he was lambasting a Texas politician, a mayor. He had to step down from office after calling his constituents lazy amid a massive power outage. Cuomo asked his followers, resign or apologize and learn to become a better leader? ? Okay. Resign or apologize and learn and become a better leader. Many of the tweet's 7,100 commentators pointed out the irony of the rhetorical posts. I don't disagree, one commenter said, but considering the trouble your brother's in right now, should you really be making a tweet like this? This is great advice for your brother. Do you think he'll take it? And another sarcastically replied, I'll take things you should say to your inept brother for $500, Alex. And the best one. One user addressed the elephant in the room by simply writing, should we tell him? Should we tell him? 844-500-4242. So here, let me read you a little bit of this New York Post column today after this press conference where he was blaming everyone but himself. Somebody needs to tell Governor Andrew Cuomo that when you're in a hole, it's time to stop digging. Once again, at his Emmy award-winning press conference on Friday, so he's giving him the needle for that one, Cuomo deflected and denied when faced with his mishandling of nursing homes and state data. He continues to blame something he calls a void in information. Friday, there was even a picture of the void in his PowerPoint presentation. It looked like a black hole in space, and Cuomo looked like a shaken shell of a governor. It's almost sad how the mighty have fallen. The only void at work here is one of competent leadership. Cuomo refuses to address straightforward questions about his own attorney general's report showing he undercounted deaths. Cuomo may be living in a sci-fi fantasy land where he did nothing wrong and the Trump administration was out to get him, but increasingly other Democrats aren't buying it. AOC became the latest in a cavalcade of Cuomo's party mates to call for an end to his emergency powers in an investigation. Andrew Cuomo is a machine politician in a post-machine political era. He thinks he can just bully Democrats like Assemblyman Ron Kim, but Kim isn't backing down and he has the backing of city Democrats like Mayor Bill de Blasio. If there is anyone left in the governor's corner, they are being awfully quiet about it. Cuomo says he is going to take on the lies, but he is the liars. He said the lies are causing the pain to families who lost a loved one. The temerity here is just shocking. It is next level gaslighting. One almost can't blame Cuomo for his feverish desire to cling to quote unquote emergency power. After all, an entirely credulous media treated him as the most competent COVID fighter in America for a year. Does this sound familiar? Does this sound like the way the Boston media treated Governor Charlie Parker? He could do no wrong. How cruel is it that suddenly the media have turned on him and are asking for actual answers instead of doing prop comedy with oversized Q-tips? The game is up. The only question left is how long Cuomo will continue to delude himself into thinking that this will all just go away. At the very least, the governor's emergency powers need to be stripped yesterday. This was true before the current scandal, but with so much evidence mounting that his administration knowingly lied, he can no longer be the only person with the key to the state government castle. The reign of Cuomo must end now. That was good. That was by a guy named David Marcus. I'm not familiar with him, but he really torched him as he deserved to be torched. Steve, you're next with Howie Carr. Go ahead, Steve.
Hey, Howie, what's going on here? Is this big lie week for the Democrats or something? I mean, this is crazy.
Yeah, they really are. But they're used to having their own way. I mean, it's like the writer in the New York Post said. I mean, Cuomo has had his own way. Seldom was heard a discouraging word for a whole year. I mean, he got the book contract. He got the Emmy Award. The New York Times gave him a good leaving alone. You know, his brother was sucking up to him on stupid CNN. And now all of a sudden the worm is turned.
Hey, actually, you know what? I had kind of a funny thought. Maybe he's got some fraud dirt on Baker, and maybe he'll try to get Baker to help him out. And if Baker refuses, maybe they'll both go down together.
Like Bonnie and Clyde. I just thought of that one.
I can dream. I can dream.
Officer Mark says Charlie Parker played quite the victim yesterday with his hair on fire. I expect him to show up next week wearing Ted Kennedy's neck brace. That's a good line too, Officer Mark. 201, maybe the polo player will tell Cuomo to wise up, the polo player who stole his wife, Kerry Kennedy. You know, I don't care much for the Kennedys in general, but you really can't blame Kerry for running around, can you? Married to a jerk like that. Rocky, you're next with Howie Carr. Go ahead, Rocky.
Hey, Howie, thanks for taking my call. Yeah, Parker said his hair was on fire. He's not going to get any sympathy from Telly Savalas. But anyway, Howie, I just want to ask you this. This is all great, talk great, and this and that. Nothing's going to happen. You know the reason that idiot wouldn't. Trump sent him a 1,700 bed flotilla within 2 weeks, which is almost impossible to do. And that loser wouldn't use the bed.
A hospital ship on the Hudson River.
Right. He knew that if he supposedly gave in to Trump, he'd be excoriated. But
and he also sent him, Rocky, he also sent him hundreds, if not thousands, of ventilators. Remember that? I need the ventilators or people are going to die. And then like 3 weeks later, he's saying, I'm sending a few hundred ventilators to Michigan because we don't need them. Right?
Brother should I think his brother should throw him down the stairs, Fredo.
Thanks for the call, Rocky. 844-500-4242. By the way, a Limerick guy in Springfield has come up with a good theme song for the if Zip Connolly, the hitman for Whitey, and Franny Joyce, the tin whistle player in Billy's band, they're living together now in Pompano Beach. If they decide to do a show, the Golden Ghouls or Winter Hill Street Blues, we now have a theme song for the show.
Somebody came up with Golden Goons. I think that's the best one.
Is that for songs or for a title?
No, for title. It was the same guy that came up with Golden Ghouls, Golden Goons.
You think that's better than Golden Ghouls? I don't know.
They're not ghouls. They are goons.
Aren't they both? But anyway, we've got the song. This is from Randy Travis, and remember, Whitey Bulger had all the graveyards. And they had to dig up all the bodies when Kevin 2 weeks flipped on him. But there was one on the Neponset River. There was one at one of the beaches, and then there was one across from Florian Hall in Dorchester. And they had to dig up the bodies. Here's the song. That'll be their theme song.
I'm digging up bones. I'm digging up bones. Doing things that's better left alone.
Starring Zip Connolly and Francis Xavier, the tin whistle player Joyce. 844-500-4242. Jimmy, you're next with Howie Carr. Go ahead, Jimmy.
Hey, since we can't recall Baker, can we get him at least have him impeached?
I don't know if there is a mechanism for impeachment either, Jimmy. That's a good question. I don't think there is. I think we're stuck with the guy unless Dementia Joe offers him a job, or more likely he's going to get the job running the combined Tufts Harvard Pilgrim healthcare plans. I think that's the only way we can really get rid of him.
I got a clean joke for you.
Go ahead.
Oh, all right.
What is King Charlie Parker's favorite album by prog rock band Gentle Giant?
Tell me.
Octopus.
See, Taylor, you didn't want to let him say that joke. Octopus.
Oh, it's not the Smothers Brother comedy hour. That's all I'm saying.
Well, neither are the Cuomos either. You know, the Smothers Brothers. That's a golden age that will not return. David, you're next with Howie Carr. Go ahead, David.
Hey, Howie. Nice to talk to you. No, I was just going to say how Cuomo, I mean, he's like the biggest coward and creep to come along in years. I mean, Pelosi, you got Schiff, you got Schumer. and all those folks, they're all in the same category. But this guy and his brother, have you ever looked at him lately? He looks evil, even just like Biden.
Yeah, Biden just looks like he's gone, like he's not all there. You're right. Cuomo just looks like he's just being consumed. He's like the picture of Dorian Gray. You know, he's being eaten up on the inside by all this deceit and fake outrage, and just he's nasty. He keeps using that word nasty, but it applies to him. And he keeps using the word lie, and that's all he does is lie. This is the modern face, the modern ugly face of the Democrat Party. Thanks for the call, David. The Biden administration's policies and executive orders are already causing some economic disturbance. Tax laws are going to change. Your tax burden on selling real estate will grow. Don't get caught flat-footed and squander the equity in your real estate built up over years or decades. Sell today with J.J. Manning. For over 40 years, J.J. Manning has been the leading auction house in New England. From high-end homes to estates to commercial properties throughout New England, J.J. Manning can get your property sold fast and contingency-free. There is a big reason why Mass Lawyers Weekly voted J.J. Manning #1 for 4 consecutive years, because they have a huge following of bidders who pay cash. When you sell with a broker, you pay the commission, but in an auction, the buyer pays. These are treacherous times in the real estate market. Some sectors are at all-time highs, others are losing ground. Don't wait until Joe Biden destroys your sector of the economy before you get your cash out. To learn more on how to get your property sold fast, contact Charlie Gill at jjmanning.com. With over 16,000 sales and satisfied customers, you can be the next one. It's the weekend. It's a perfect time to call them today at 1-800-521-0111 or go to jjmanning.com and get your property sold. I'm Howie Carr.
The paper boy with a big microphone, Howie Carr.
Howie says it all the time. When it comes to bad politicians, Massachusetts takes the cake.
It is my honor to introduce to you your senator, my senator, Senator Elizabeth Warren.
I know who I am because of what my mother and my father told me.
Ladies and gentlemen, I give you Governor Deval Patrick. And frankly, I got to tell you, with all the other things I'm worrying about, this is not one of them. We're going to be fine. I'm in charge.
Please join me in welcoming our own Senator Ed Markey.
The planet is running a fever. There are no emergency rooms for planets.
The very first African-American congresswoman to be elected from Massachusetts, Ayanna Pressley.
We don't need any more brown faces that don't want to be a brown voice. We don't need black faces that don't want to be a black voice. We don't need Muslims that don't want to be a Muslim voice. We don't need queers that don't want to be a queer voice.
Let's give him a great Waterloo reception. John Kerry.
The Yankees posted the Boston Red Sox logo and they sang Sweet Adeline.
Hair loss is not one of life's more enjoyable experiences. If you're looking to fill in your hairline or reverse years of hair loss, DiStefano Hair Restoration will create a result that will be a transformative experience. The result of my IGT procedure was quite remarkable. I now have fuller, thicker hair so I can even wear it a bit longer. There are a few major decisions I've made in my life that I wish I did sooner. My hair restoration is #1. It was by far one of the best moves I've ever made. My hair looks awesome, and the confidence from having a full head of hair again has left me feeling great. I used to look in the mirror and dreaded seeing my ever-increasing bald spot. Now when I look in the mirror, I see the new me with a full head of thick hair. For information on how to make the same choice I did, go to hairman.com/Howie. What are you waiting for? More hair to fall out? Get the hair you've always wanted. Hairman.com/Howie. I've seen a lot of Anchor cupcakes in my day. Here are some of the latest network Nitwits.
And he says, if I'm elected president, I will push for a constitutional amendment to impose term limits on all members of Congress. Correct me, there already are term limits, so what does he mean?
And what are we hearing in the background? Is that shelling?
No, Katie, Katie, you're actually hearing that from here in Jerusalem, and it's actually fireworks going off right behind me.
We're in our tribes, we're in our corners most of our lives. I think we just heard some gunshots. Should we listen to that for a second, control room? So that's not gunshots? Okay.
Ivanka is not the second lady. She is actually, I don't think she deserves this position. She's actually a senior advisor to the president. So the idea that he would demean her specifically in that way, he shouldn't talk about the first lady that way. We aren't all here to make salads for men. It's disgusting.
I mean, I'm presuming he was talking about Karen Pence when he said second lady.
Oh, God, I'm sorry. Not Montana. I'm talking about never mind.
Yeah, no,
Ignore me.
I mean,
Ignore me.
that's
I was
could add to
I was getting Montana and North Dakota confused because, I don't know, I just was.
Got hate mail?
You bloated idiot! You stupid you!
Send it to Grace at HowieCarShow.com.
I'm digging up bones. I'm digging up bones.
It's time for America's newest hit sitcom, Golden Ghouls. The new Odd Couple, digging up bones.
Digging up bones.
844-5. I wonder how close they live to the beach. Because, like Whitey, like I said, Whitey liked to bury bodies on the beach, whether it was the Boston Harbor or the Neponset River. Although, Hallett Street was okay, too, across from Florian Hall. Now there's a building in that old parking lot. 844-500-4242. We're going to take a couple more calls here on Cuomo, but I want to play just a couple of cuts. Bo Snerdley was on TV last night. He was Rush's producer. James Golden is his name. Yeah, he's a good guy. I've met him down here in Florida, and he was really a very loyal guy to Rush. And Bo went on with Sean Hannity last night, and just Rush has been called all these horrible names, and and been called a racist. It just so happens Bo Snerdley's black, and that's not the only black friend Rush had, but Bo worked for him for a number of years. But listen to Bo Snerdley on the late Rush Limbaugh, cut 15.
Beyond all of those accomplishments, Rush Limbaugh was one of the finest human beings that you would ever want to meet. A generous, wonderful, beautiful spirit, humble, a gentleman, always, never failed to thank people for the smallest service that they could do to him, never look down on people.
There was a story in the New York Times, I guess it was just kind of a feature story in 2008 about tipping in New York City. And the reporter did a lot of legwork, actually, believe it or not. And guess what? He said that the best tipper in New York City was Rush Limbaugh. And he quoted waiters as saying, he doesn't just leave 100%. He comes in and he leaves $5,000 or $10,000 as a tip. Cut 16 from Bo Snerdley.
It burns me to my soul when people sully his reputation with falsehoods, calling him a racist. This man was just an incredible phenomenon.
Paul, you're next with Howie Carr. Go ahead, Paul.
Hi, Howie. How are you?
Good.
Hey, actually, it's amazing. Mr. Snerdley, James, my condolences, of course. I mean, it's all about Rush. I was on the phone with a very good friend of mine who Mr. Snerdley used to work with. His last name, should I give his last? Mr. Carson. He died of lung cancer many years ago.
Yeah.
Exactly. And we were on the phone tonight, and she's heading down to give her condolences. And I just wanted to say that how much, I love Rush, and I listen to him. Well, I'm laying tile and laying floors every freaking day, and I listen to him every day, and he was amazing.
He really was. And, you know, I was thinking about that today because we have these amazing cuts from everybody. And what Rush would have done with this. I mean, I hope I've done a decent job, but I just think, you know, where would Rush have taken these sound cuts? And you know, he taught everybody. He was a teacher to people like me. He taught us how to use sound cuts. I mean, he took it to a whole new level when he started doing talk shows. Here's one more cut. You got time for cut 19 from Kerry? It's only 3 seconds long.
There is no room for BS anymore. There's no faking it on this one.
From John Kerry, there's no room for BS. And Andrew Cuomo wants to stop the lying. I wish Rush were still here to talk about this. I'm Howie Carr. My friends at Eden Pure